Nothing much really.
We are here. We are in the building. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. Whatever
Right.
time y'all watching this.
So what's going on? We are live. What's up, YouTube? What is up, YouTube? You are YouTube. What's going on? So this is for me a special night. I am excited to have the ladies on the panel. This is our very first ladies' night. So everyone for the most part has been part of the GMT army. Now we part of the GWT army.
GWT.
So we push it forward.
We gotta get like a right.
What's that?
G. It's just a G. As best as I could try to make it.
I guess. All right. So we definitely coming with more and more content for y'all, different perspectives. I wanted to give the ladies an opportunity to kind of kill the noise from the men real quick, right? Because the men, we can be very overpowering in panels. We can tend to talk a lot. We tend to not allow the women. We do. It is what it is.
Absolutely.
He's telling fairy tales.
Yeah. So, just the simple fact that we know that we wanted to give the women an opportunity to get themselves out there and speak their quote on how y'all say as women, your truth, right?
Oh my God. The facts.
Yeah, I speak
You're already going wrong.
I don't know about now listen. I don't know if we want to call it facts, but we can say y'all truth.
Okay. So before this goes
block the testosterone out. Block the testosterone out. Let's go.
Yes. Let's lock into our feminine energy. Let's lock in, okay? Because it's ladies' night and the brothers' night. I guess this ladies' night. Oh, what a night. Oh, what a night. All right. You know what I'm saying? So let's get it cracking. Let's get the names. Let the people know who you are. Queens, let's go. Get into it. So,
for everybody,
all right,
we starting here.
I'm starting right here.
Okay. All right. So it's Just Justified. I have a new channel that has a few videos in, and it's Mind Your Mind with Just Justified. Check me out. And with a W, not the whole word.
All right.
Hello, I'm Shativia. I have a YouTube channel as well. I have not began posting again yet, but that is coming, and it is the May Moore as you see on the screen. So follow me because I will be posting soon. Okay.
Nice.
Go ahead, Mo. Go ahead, Mo.
Hi guys, hi YouTube. Thank you guys for tuning in with us today. So my YouTube channel is called More Real Talk. I have just now begun to revamp my podcast or my YouTube channel. And it's basically about encouragement for people that feel like they've had their willpower broken, people that have been through a lot. So you will get taught many ways to overcome yourself, battles in life, find ways and new principles of things that you can really develop that's going to help you elevate. So check me out at More Real Talk.
Nice.
And it is your favorite internet homegirl, Dion MUA, in the building. We are here. We're here on the interwebs. Okay. So y'all know me if y'all haven't known from before, back in the IG streets. That's where we're coming from. So before I was Dion MUA of makeup artistry, we have hung up, praise God, the makeup brushes. We have retired in that arena. And now we're just making up adulting. We're figuring this thing out called life. So that's what I'm here to do. Just sharing my experiences with you.
All right.
We got another one. Hey.
And we got Lady Fresh in the building.
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me okay?
Fresh.
Yes,
Can you
we
hear
can
me?
hear you. We can.
Okay,
Mhm.
good. I'm just getting back to YouTube, you guys. So I'm like trying to learn how to use all my equipment all over again.
Yeah, that's the worst part.
Nice,
That's the
nice,
worst part.
nice.
Oh my goodness. I took like 4 months off. So everything is like new. YouTube has changed
Mhm.
a lot and people have changed a lot. So,
Right.
I'm just getting reacclimated. But I guess we were doing introductions.
Mhm.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
Well, I'm Lady Fresh. I'm also a content creator. Um, My channel is mainly positive. It's very positive. I like to do a lot of awarenesses. I just rebroadcasted my series from last year on autism awareness. I didn't do a new one this year, but I did do the rebroadcast because I thought it was one of those topics that, our community doesn't tend to hone in on or have a lot of information about. And so, mainly on my channel, I like to bring forth topics and awarenesses that affect us, but maybe we are not in a space where we can discuss it or feel comfortable discussing it. Um, I'm a wife, I'm a mom, I have two beautiful daughters, one that's older, and then I have the 10-year-old. So I got one on each end of the spectrum. So it keeps me very
Yeah.
busy. Um,
Lucky
and I'm
you.
just really happy to be here. Thank you to Grown Men Talking for inviting me over here. I love to be able to be in a space with other women and, for a man to be able to create that safe space for us. I give you much respect, bro.
Thank you. Thank you. And thank you for joining.
You're
It's an
welcome.
honor to have the panel. It's an honor to have, I reached out and it was very last minute for Lady Fresh as well. Like very last minute. And she was like, yo, I got you. And I love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it.
You're welcome.
So, um, I wanted to allow you, I wanted to allow the ladies to control this panel, right? I'm here for just the male perspective of things, but listen, this is your night. So what we're gonna do is we have some topics queued up, and it's mainly about I'm gonna let Dion explain to you what the night will be about, and then we can go
Yeah.
from there.
Yes. So tonight we're going to be talking about the married versus single friends dilemma. We have married friends and then we have single friends. Is it okay to still maintain your single friendships? I myself, I'm been married 8 years, so I have relationships that have spanned at this point 20 years, where some have gotten divorced, some have are married, and I have been the person in the circle that was the only single friend in the circle. So I just wanted to get a little bit of everyone's perspective on that topic, and we have a little clip to get it going,
All right,
to just
Okay.
all
to
right,
get the juices flowing on the topic. Mhm.
all right. So I'm gonna cue it up.
There
Here we
you
go.
go.
Hate when people said that married women shouldn't have single friends. But now that I've been married, single, and am now dating for marriage, is
This logic I'll probably never understand. Go back and watch this girl's video. She is, I guess, newly divorced or whatever, newly single, and is out here dating with the intention of getting married. And she says how she believes that married women should not have single friends. As a married woman, married to my husband 8 years. I do not agree with that. Now, what I do agree is that you shouldn't have close friendships with people of the opposite sex. What this woman is talking about is not having any friendships with anybody that is single. And that right there is not true. It's very toxic and it can isolate you where this man becomes your entire world, which that's probably what she wants, but it's okay. Her reasoning is that single friends want elaborate birthday parties. They want you to go out, fly of the night. They want you to travel like a day's notice. What if your husband wants you to sit at home because he's having a bad day? With
Girl.
boundaries, which you guys know I talk about, boundaries don't just exist within opposite sex relationships. They also exist within friendships of the same sex. One of my best friends is single. I talk to her about things that happen in my life. She gives me really great advice. She's not married. She's never been married, but she gives me such sound advice. That's one. Two, my best friend knows I'm married. So some things she doesn't even invite me to because she knows I can't come. She doesn't ask me last minute to go to Aruba, Cancun. She knows it's not possible. I have 2 kids and a whole husband. Any relationship that you have is going to change once you get married. It does not mean you have to let go of those relationships altogether just to become a doll for this man or be at the beck and call of this man. Isolating yourself is dangerous. If any guy isolates you from your family, your sisters, your friends, that is a red flag. What does happen in marriage is that relationships change. Am I able to go out 2 hours
Okay.
notice? Probably
Yeah.
not, but I'm okay with it. And if
You could cut it. Yeah, we could stop
All
right
right.
there. We could get it going. So, what do you
All
guys
right.
take on that? We had the first woman that was saying, absolutely not. You should not have single friends if you're married. And the other woman who was married was advocating for having any type of friends. It doesn't matter as long as there obviously should be boundaries, especially if it's the opposite sex, etc. So where do you guys stand with that? What do you think?
I mean, I personally think if you're married, I don't think you should have like super close or a plethora of friends that are single. I still think you should maintain those friendships over time. Not necessarily saying you have to talk to them every single day, but you can always check in with people, maybe go out to coffee or do something that's, not wilding out outside, but just kind of, keeping that avenue open. But I don't think you should, be running, not say running the streets, but I don't think you should be super connected with someone that is single. Just because like clearly like it's different when you're married, when you guys have problems. So sometimes relaying certain information, her judgment may not be what it should be because she may be thinking from a single perspective or someone that she's only been with a couple years versus someone who's married. Y'all been together, 15, 20 years. She may not really have that much insight on what that actually feels like. But maintaining them overall, I'm okay with, but I wouldn't say like 100% entertaining them.
Hmm.
That makes a lot of sense. I think that, when you get into a long-term relationship or a marriage, you're going to evolve, both you and your partner. You're going to evolve. And I think a lot of times your friendships evolve. You start to spend more time with couples. You start to spend more time with, other individuals with like that might be like-minded or like to do a lot of the same things. Should there be a rule in place that says that you shouldn't have single friends? I wouldn't necessarily agree with that because I've been that single friend that had a lot of, married friends. And I would have been devastated if those long-term friendships that I had with those women just went out the window because I wasn't married. You see what I'm saying? So I kind of look at it from both sides as being now married. I've been married for 5 years, but I've been with my husband for 13 years. So do you count all of those years that we've been together and I was supposed to cut off all my single friends? Like, I don't think that that's realistic, but I do think boundaries are necessary. There's going to be some things your single girlfriends, they're going to want to do that, you as a married woman, you ain't going to be able to turn up at South Beach for, whatever type of weekend that your girlfriend's going to. I'm just saying, just certain situations you don't want to put yourself into as a married woman. But I do believe that there's a lot. It's hard to have friends. It's hard to call someone your friend. So if that friend is single or that friend is married and you're single, just to say X nay on a friendship, I think is a bit extreme.
Yeah.
Do avoid toxic friendships. I will say that.
Yeah.
That part.
Okay.
Oh, Jess, you're on mute.
Just you on mute.
Sorry about that. I usually put a mute when we're playing the video. So I actually had experience on both ends. I'm a divorcee right now, but when I was married, I was married very young, and a lot of my friends were still friending. Like, I mean, living, doing a lot. where my focus now was on that relationship, my kids, things like that. So it was a hard transition because at that time, because we were young, they didn't understand when we went out that I couldn't just do everything. I couldn't just up and go. I had to figure out, okay, if I was going, who's watching the children, or how many times I can go, how often I can go, if and understand that I cannot, just be outside. I can't. So when I in my singlehood now, it's different, and I have married friends, I have single friends. I think that it comes down to, especially as you grow, um empathy and respect. I think that's the biggest thing that works with that dynamic, because you cannot sync whether all your friends is going to be married at the same time, whether all your friends are going to be single at the same time. You can't sync that. That's not realistic. As Lady Fresh was saying, you can't sync that kind of stuff. So being that you can't sync that, you still have core friendships. But if they are true friends, they will understand, dang, I can't call my friend now because it's family time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or, you have to have respect for the dynamic. As in to say, okay, we kind of been going out a lot. How you want to do this? Can you do this? Whatever. And it's not like a whole, she's grown, she can do this. No, it's a respect thing for even her space and her marriage and things like that. So you have to respect, and even consider. That's where the empathy part come in. Consider, oh, she's been out how many times, or does she even have anyone to watch the children? Does she have, it's a lot of things that kind of come into perspective in that dynamic. But once you have empathy and respect for your friend, it should not be an issue.
Good points. Good points. Miss Dime, honey, what are your thoughts?
Um, yeah, I mean, I don't really see anything wrong with having friends that are not married if someone's single or married. I kind of agree with what everyone else has said as long as like the boundaries are there and the respect. I mean, if like they said, if the person's really a friend, they will definitely respect your marriage and like everything you have going on, and also they'll understand that you can't just be like turning it up necessarily. So yeah, I don't think it's realistic to cut people off either just because you may have got married and your friend of 15 years or so isn't married. So yeah, I think that I don't think anything's wrong with it when it comes down to that, as long as those things have been established. So
And if there is no respect and all that stuff, and there's nothing wrong with cutting them off too, to be
Yeah.
honest. Because if they're not respecting their friend, you gotta kind of let it go, to be honest.
yeah.
Yo, this
So,
conversation.
no, go ahead.
No, no, I was gonna say this conversation reminds me of an old close buddy I used to have. I don't even know what year this was. Like I was working at Five Guys back then, so I was young.
Come
But
on, Five Guys. Face fries is bomb. Just saying.
bomb. Still to this day. Bomb.
2024.
Like, trust me, I had my fair share of everything on the menu. But yeah, I had this buddy named Bradley that I worked there with. T, you probably heard me talk about Bradley, but
Yeah.
and this is the kicker too. I want y'all to understand this. Bradley was fine. Let me just throw it out there.
Okay,
Bradley
Brady.
was fine, but he was my dog though, and he
Burger
actually
bread. I said burger bread.
Burger Bread from way back. But like, so he had a girlfriend and stuff at the time, and over the course of us hanging out, he would tell me that she would be salty about it. Fast forward, long story short, then she ended up having like a baby on the way. He actually stepped up to the plate, which I was super proud of. Stepped up to the plate, married this girl, and when I tell you, me and Bradley was together every day. Like he served me better as a friend, which is why like there was zero intimacy in like that aspect. He served me better as a friend. But once he got married, I haven't talked to Bradley in years. I still see him on social media and stuff like that. There's no bad blood, but it's like I already knew where his girl stood with our friendship. So, and especially when he got married, it was like like, I'm not even mad at you. Like, I'm glad that you have, because if you seen him when we were young, he was outside. So the fact that he stepped out to that, he stepped up and really became a man. He take care of his kids and stuff like that. And I haven't talked to him in years, like I said, but it was a good decision in my eyes.
Well, I'm glad Burger Brad took himself off the takeout menu and settled down and got himself together. That's very good. There was a part of.
I got a quick question. I got a quick question because I know the fellas are going to want to know this.
Mm-hmm.
Girls trips. Let's talk about that real quick. Should a married woman go on girls trips with her single friends?
Now we putting that stipulation on it. It's a girls trip with her single friends.
Yeah, because
I go on girls trips every year. It's not long trips, but my husband expects to hear that we're going on one at some point, and all of my friends are married. We do have one divorcee, but when somebody put in the chat, it's you can maintain that friendship as long as there's respect. And I think it's definitely something you have a conversation with your partner about, and we need to understand that there's trust between me and my partner, so that when I'm going on these girls trips, it doesn't become an issue. And if it is an issue for him, then it is my responsibility as his wife to find out exactly what that issue is and why we have that issue. Because obviously, if my husband says that there's a problem with that, he sees something that I don't.
Yeah.
And he's not just going to say, oh, no, I ain't feeling that. He sees something, or it's something that maybe I have been falling behind on doing as a wife. That now this is like, oh man, you about to go on this trip and X, Y, and Z hasn't been done, and he's speaking up on it. As his wife, it's my responsibility to take all of those things into consideration and then proceed. But I think if you put the stipulation on, should a married woman go on a trip with her single girlfriends, I mean, that might cause a point of contention in any household. That's just my thing.
I think you know what I kind of think of that. I think men may view girls' trips in general as something like they kind of frown upon, maybe because of whatever they're doing on their trips with their guy friends,
right?
Married or not, you know what I'm saying?
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, nah, but I mean, yeah, like I think it's whatever it is they be doing in the dark. They've been married 25 years. They going to DR or something like that. They got money.
Oh, not DR.
Probably not bad looking. Man, these men be out here doing stuff, and I think so. Whenever they see the woman doing it, now it's almost like, oh, we know what you're doing. Who you going with it? Is she single? She married? And it's like, what?
Well, do you remember back in the day, like I want to say it was like the 90s, the Girls Gone Wild videos, and how you would see the little commercials, about the girls gone wild, woo! And all of that. Yeah. I feel like there's something in men's minds that feel like that's what we do when we girls trip, and it really is the furthest thing from the truth. Okay, I'm not saying.
I don't know about.
Hold on. I'm not saying some don't, but I'm saying the majority. When you saw the Girls Gone Wild commercials, and they were they weren't here. I'm just saying. I'm gonna put that out there first.
And that's a fact too.
Then the second part. I'm just saying. So the second part of that is like most of the time when we going on a girls trip, especially. I'm going to emphatically say the especially, all caps. As a married woman, you are trying to take a break.
Yeah.
You are trying to leave them kids at home. You love your man, but you're trying to leave that man at home. I love you. Love you. But I just need a break. I just need to be me for a second because it was me first, right? And you just need, and I feel like that's the part where some people miss, or some people they may not necessarily think about it, that when you become a wife, that single you it ain't tucked away, it's gone. R.I.P. bye girl, is done. So you're in a different mode, you're in a different headspace. But there are things that you enjoy, whether it was a certain type of music or whatever. And you sometimes you just want to cut loose. Cut loose don't mean you gotta go woo and
Right.
act a plum fool. You ain't gotta do
Yeah.
all. Sometimes you just want to go
Yeah.
to the spa and you just want to kick back.
Hmm.
Sometimes you may want to have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5
Hmm.
margaritas. And you ain't got to
Yeah.
worry about, making sure Junior or whomever is gone to bed.
Yeah.
You're just chilling. You just want to put your feet in the sand and not have a whole bucket or bag full of toys. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's really like if it was a mix of singles and married, because like we touched on the evolution, everybody goes through their seasons. Everybody has their moments of singleness or may have become widowed or become a divorcee. So no, you shouldn't just totally X them out of your life. So yeah, if you want to go on a girls trip and it's the one single friend that you've known for, and I feel like the part of it is the investing in that friendship.
Hmm.
If you're talking about shorty you just met on a Facebook group, and she talking about, hey girl, what's going on? I said,
Yeah.
trying.
Right.
No, boo, I don't know you like that. I'm not doing
Yeah.
that. You know what I'm saying? And she's single. But if it's like someone you have an invested relationship with for a significant amount of time, and she just happens to be single, and it may be another married friend there or whatever, I don't think it should be a problem because again, the trust begins with you. The trust begins with your partner and knowing that y'all not gonna violate boundaries when you outside. Like you
Hmm.
still gonna remember all of the vows that you had said on that day with the people. You know what I'm saying? So it
And
I
I
I
think
mean,
mean,
that
I mean the way
sometimes.
but
Mm,
let's
I got you, Jess. But I wanted to because I think it was Fresh Breezy who made that point, and it was a good point
That's my husband,
about
y'all.
the girl. That's and yo, I came on your channel. He gave me some shout outs. I said, that's my guy right there.
we only
So
have remember that
with
movie
girls,
though.
so but here's the thing, right? So what men think is, I think a lot of women think that we're imagining these things, but when we look at it like that, right? When men say, okay, we're not okay with the girls trips, it's usually because when we go out as men, a lot of the women that are sleeping with these men or doing things are married women.
On girl
So
trips.
What?
believe it or not, it happens a lot. So,
Um,
and they be on those quote unquote girls trips. So this is why when men usually get with women and chat, you could, I have 20% women that watch me, the rest are all men. So I know the men are like, yeah. So I don't know if
but
y'all
then
can
I
touch on
see. I
that.
think that, and that's what I was gonna say even before you said that. As in, I feel like husbands kind of you know your people. Like for instance, GMT. When your wife is going out, you know the people that she's around. Now you know they don't
they
even
don't
let
give it up
anybody
like
step
that.
to her. They don't even. No one could even look at her without being like, "Who that?" Like
Like,
that's the thing.
and then
Or
the youngest one is the one that be the loudest in the group. I'm gonna just preface it. She like, sir, she be blocking. She is
no,
she's
so
my
it's
shield.
like
Praise God.
right. So it's like once you know it talks about that's where the trust comes in, and then with you once you're with a married couple, that came out wrong. Once you're friends, but you know what I mean though. Like once
Yeah.
you're friends with someone who is a married couple, I feel like it becomes like a whole nucleus in a sense.
No.
Yes.
Oh,
Oh no.
I
come
hate
Oh
back,
that.
no.
Jazz. Come
Somebody get the
back.
hot water and unfreeze her.
Come back.
Mm.
Did I
No.
She was
freeze?
about to
Oh
talk
Did I
about that
man.
freeze? I
There she
evolution.
goes.
froze.
There
Okay,
she goes.
wait.
Yeah, you froze. You froze. You froze.
Oh, she froze
But
again.
Oh, that's. Oh.
Oh no. Girl,
I'm
you
good.
freezing, boo. Um, move your hand again.
Am
We
I
don't
good now? Let
know.
me make sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
there you go. Good.
No, but I'm saying it's like a extended family, whereas the trust is all there. They know how everyone is in that group and how they could trust. And that's when, even if, like, let's say Dion MUA, if hubby tells you, oh, that person gives me the amount of times we buy your house, you know that he saw something for a reason. If not, there should be that trust
He
level
ain't
there.
said nothing though. Praise God. He ain't said nothing though. He love y'all. But it's true though. I think because remember, we're not talking about just girls trips. If I'm correct me if I'm wrong, you were talking about girls trip with predominantly single friends. So if it's a mixture that which I brought up, then cool. And again, if there is an issue because of something like Lady Fresh brought up, that the husband may have seen where you may have missed, like, all right, she kind of give it up a little crazy. Like, we had a game night and she over here, like, twerking during dominoes. Like, why she doing all that? What is she doing when she go outside? Like, yeah. You may not want to go to Dubai with her. She may
Right.
act a plum fool. You know what I'm saying? Nobody got time for that.
Oh, yeah, you definitely
And
want
I
to go
think,
high acting crazy.
and the thing is, really and truly, to me, with those type of situations, I feel like it would be more of, oh, now I gotta babysit this friend. Not the fact that she's single. It's like you just don't know how to act outside. And now I gotta make sure that you don't get in a fight with the bouncer, or I gotta, you know what I'm saying,
And putting everybody
pull
in
you out of the
danger.
grass because you
Yep.
got so lit, like, you know what I'm saying, you all stumbling in your heels. Like, I don't wanna do that. I'm too grown for that. So those are the type of people I wouldn't deal with anyway. You know what I'm saying? So I think, like, when we put it into perspective, it's not so much of the girls' trips. It's who is the quality of the friends that you are trusting to some degree with your safety to be around. You know
Yep.
what I'm saying?
So
So
that's so important because it can go really, really wrong just in the wrong mixture of people. Like you look at
Yeah.
what happened with Shanquella Robinson. She went on a trip with people she
I was
thought
just thinking,
she trusted. She thought she was with a good core group of people. She was excited. I think she put up a lot of money for that trip for the people on the trip. And look what happened. She didn't return home. And so
Yeah.
those are the things like we need to be paying attention to, on top of, is hubby okay with this trip? Am I going out with a quality group of young women? Because I got some married friends that like to turn up and act a little crazy that I might have to pull
I
down
mean,
from the rafters sometimes.
right.
No, it's just it's all about good judgment and decision making. But I
Responsibility.
don't think that girls trip should be completely ruled
Off
out,
the
because we were these women before we got married. And each I believe men and women both just, they need that time to be able to just let their hair down and relax. We have a whole agenda sometimes going on these trips, and I promise you, most of the time we end up staying in the Airbnb with a bunch of bottles of wine, and we don't even go out anywhere. We're supposed to go boating, we were supposed to go do this and do that, and we don't even go. We just kick
I
it.
can't even hold
Hanging
you.
out,
I'm
laughing.
all about my agenda and my itinerary. So I'll be
No, I'm
listen.
just saying, but
Let's go.
sometimes you're just so wiped out from your role as wife, as mother. If you're a woman that works 9 to 5, or who runs multiple businesses, or BDB put in the chat, Lady Fresh, you a travel agent, so you don't count. I run a whole travel agency. So when
Yeah.
you get a chance to actually go on vacation, sometimes, like you said, you end up just resting.
Yeah, and I think this is like um a great example of like some of the things that we talk about on the podcast we do every Sunday for grown men talking, just kind of going back and forth on different things that the wife and the husband does. And I think it is overlooked how hard, whether you're a stay-at-home mom is, or if you work and you're just a wife and you still take care of the kids. I do think it's overlooked tremendously on the just the taking care of everything. And you, like you said, like you guys were saying, playing that role to the fullest, cooking, cleaning, taking care of the kids, making sure everything is in line, and being, that soft, gentle wife for your husband when he gets home. So I think the roles that, wives play, and even just, married people in general, I think it's overlooked on the selflessness that the woman, displays constantly. And because we get into conversations about how, women aren't loyal, or women are this and that and they'll do this, but I'm just like, yo, look at the selflessness that women have, even when we're in those wrong relationships with someone that we're not supposed to be with, the selflessness that a woman displays constantly is something that I feel like is one of the most valuable things that we have as women.
I agree.
That is really true. And the important part of it that I feel like you touched on concerning community, where that is so necessary, and not to get lost in your role as a
Right.
wife and a mother, and remembering who you were before that. You were a whole person before
Yeah.
that. And it's not to discount the importance of those roles, because they're tremendously important. But okay, again, I've had people that at this point they not friends, they're family. These are my sisters. I've known them for 20 years, and they known me in my singleness. They knew who I was, like the good, the bad, the ugly,
Yeah.
and still loved me, nurtured me, prayed with me, uplifted me, encouraged me, where they all got married. Literally, the whole group got married. I was the only single one. And I remember being in that space of like, oh my gosh, like, oh my gosh. And they didn't treat me different. They still
Yeah.
loved on me. There was nothing changed. I mean, granted, I will stipulate that we all didn't live in the same state. So I think that did play a role. You know what I'm saying? But definitely they kept me accountable, even, you know, at times when I needed to have my feet to the coals. And when it came time for me to get married, it was like those are the same people still there. You know what I'm saying? And letting and showing up. So the community part I feel is so important. And there was an article, if you could pull it up, talking about
Um,
the
I want to, because we got a
oh,
super chat. We got a super
okay.
chat. So I
Hey.
wanted to give a
Boop,
big
boop,
shout
boop,
out
boop,
to
boop.
Beans. Please
Beans.
subscribe to his channel 414 Reactions. Listen, he has this new series where he interviews women. And I watched it today and I was floored. It was amazing. I love what he's doing with that. Please keep up the great work, Beans. Everyone, go subscribe to his channel. Subscribe to every panelist's channel on this podcast. And we
Follow
just
on
gonna keep going.
Instagram.
So follow on Instagram, YouTube, all of that good
All
stuff,
of
because
that.
we all rocking. But thank you so much, Beans. Greatly appreciated, man. All right.
Mhm.
All right. So
So
you
I
wanted
kind
me
of
to lift that article.
There was a
Go ahead, I'll
article
do it.
talking about the importance of good friends with women, and pretty much touching on like even longevity of life, essentially, like because of community, because you have friends, that you live longer. You I mean, I feel like I don't need to know more than that. Like, okay, if I have good friends, I'm gonna live long, great. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a large amount. I can't see that. It's small on my screen. Can you read that, sir? In the purple.
Hold up. I'm trying to make it bigger so I can see it. I'm blind too, you know. So it says sorry. There are only modest differences in the number of close friends men and women have. Half half of men and 55% of women say they have between one or four close friends, and
Hmm.
40% of men and 36% of women say they have five or more close friends.
Scroll down just a little bit
Hold on, y'all.
underneath that.
Yeah, because I'm blind. Hold up. Hold on one
yeah,
second.
it's
Let's go back to this. Where am I going at?
I can't. It's not
All right,
even big
hold on.
enough.
I got you. I got you.
Okay.
All right. So what do you want to read?
I can't see it. It says most. What does it say at the top? Most
You
what?
talking about
Gender affirming.
most adults? 66% says all or most of their close friends are the same gender as them. Women are
Hmm.
more likely to
But that
say
was a different point.
this than men. 71% versus 61%.
Yeah, that was a different point. But nevertheless, it still points out that it is important for us to be friends. And I think another thing that's actually it was a different point, but I think it's good to kind of segue as far as the the number of friends. I feel like we live in an age right now where people just want to it's like friends are currency. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Every time we turn around, it's like, oh, this is my friend, this is my friend, this is my friend, that's my friend. It's like, how many friends you really got? You know what I'm saying? Like, I guess my when I say that is like, where's the quality? You cannot invest because remember, when you're in these friendships, you're investing time, you're investing energy, you're investing resources, you're investing emotional support. There's a whole lot of things going on, and then how can you literally say that you're doing that with
Mhm.
a
Everybody.
plethora of people?
Plethora.
Um, I wanted to go back real quick because I was looking for this quote when we were talking about friendships. I can go all day on friendships now. I didn't had so many people come and go like, and I'm gonna say it
Girl.
on here too. I had a homegirl that I was so cool with her. Took her under my wing. She comes from like a broken family and stuff like that. So I have a really close family, like an amazing family dynamic. So anytime people come around, we just treat everybody the same. And then she just randomly stopped talking to me like around my birthday, like stop calling, stop answering the phone, stop everything, just completely ghost. So
Ooh, I
that's my
can't stand
experience when it
that.
comes to friends.
Ooh, that burns my biscuit, girl. Ooh, ooh,
My
that be
Grinds
getting
my
me so
gears.
vexed. I can't stand that.
my
I guess because I'm
Grinds
a
my
closer
experience.
person. I
gears.
need a conversation. I need something.
Yeah,
I'm working on it.
it's I don't know what it is, but I have this quote here, and it says, "For if they fall, one will lift up his companion, but woe to him who is alone when he falls, for he has no one to help him up." And that's like one of my favorite quotes that I like to live by because friendships are important. Like there's another thing where people say that laughter does the heart like a good medicine, and just being natural, the type of creatures that we are, we have to have human interactions with other people. It's necessary to be sane, to
Mm-hmm.
have positive interactions with people. So having friends, man, in any aspect, you're gonna always need them. Like,
So so I know there's this old saying which says, "Show me your friends, and it'll tell you who you are." So
mm,
it's like, I feel like friendships should be treated like how you vet for even relationships. Like
Yeah.
you have to vet for your friendships properly because the way what your friends are, it reflects you. If
yeah,
your
Mm.
friends are like partiers, constantly outside, all that
Like,
stuff, and you're always around them, odds are
mm,
any outside person, even if that's not how you are, and they're looking in, outside looking in, they're going to think that you're always outside
yeah.
partying and doing everything as well. So, your
Mhm.
friends reflect who you are. So,
No, that's
mm.
with
that's
how it is,
Yeah.
you have to vet.
not you do, and it's sad that I never really like had picked up on that because my main issue is I give way too much. Like I'm a giver. I love to give. I'll give the shirt off of my back.
Girl, that
You know
is
what
my
I'm saying?
love
Like,
language. I'm with you.
yes, like
Mm.
it genuinely picks up my spirit to see that I can give somebody, whether it's spiritually, physical, advice, and I've attracted that to where people come in. Then now they emotionally dump on me, like they just call me,
Ooh.
break
Mm.
loose, and tell. Matter of
Be
fact, I got a
careful.
no,
Be
seriously,
Yeah.
careful.
you're right. My mama has always told me that. And literally, as we speak right now, when we get off here, I got to call one of my homeboys because he even on my line, voice messages me, sending me stuff. Random. I ain't even spoke to him for real like that. And it's just like people come to me and I'm happy I can always give them something. But then I do get left empty sometimes because I overgive.
Yep.
And I'm
So
not
you
paying
can't,
attention.
another
Mm-hmm.
saying, you can't
Maybe
pour
you
from
should
an
have
empty
told
cup.
him
So you have to be
Yeah.
careful with that.
No, that's true.
But
Yeah.
also
Yeah.
learn how to like, you can't call everybody friends. I'm sorry, you have to learn
Yeah.
how to compartmentalize. So you have
Absolutely.
that.
to know that you have to know the ones that are your associates. Like, we
Mm.
cool, we cool, I could count
Yeah.
on you for things, you could count on me for things, we cool, we go hang out, we good. But
Mhm.
that's
Mm.
not my friend, that's not my confidant. You
Right.
have to start
Yeah.
compartmentalizing who your friends are, your close friends, who your regular people are
Yeah.
that you can count on, and who are just out there. You know, you
Right,
got to
right.
start
Right.
looking at that.
That's
Can
not.
can I ask a question?
Mhm.
Why keep the people that you cannot consider close friends around?
There's
Mm.
always reasons. Like
I
coworkers
mean,
sometimes can be in that bracket. You're
Mhm.
cool with them, but they're not on your friend's level.
Mhm.
Yeah.
yeah, because
Everybody's not meant to be close
There's
to you.
levels. You have acquaintances,
Yeah.
Yeah.
associates, and friends. You know what I'm saying?
It took me to be a whole adult to
Yes.
understand that. Like there are some
Mm-hmm.
people who I joke about it with my husband. It's like, it say for instance you getting into a relationship. It's gonna be a little box that you have, and you're gonna have those people you really mess with, heavy, hard body. You can tell them your
Mm.
secrets. You can trust them with anything. If you're dark, they're gonna lift you up. They're gonna be your light. You got your people that's gonna pray with you, who got your spiritual back.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You got other people who you've had friendships with for years, but y'all just don't rock on that level anymore. And I never felt like it was necessary to just be like, okay, I'm not your friend no more, because they haven't done anything to me to warrant,
Right.
me saying you're cut off from my life. However,
Right.
I know what box you in.
Outgrown.
Yeah.
Now
right.
I'm married, I got kids, I got other responsibilities. So you
Mhm.
may not be in this box right here, right now. You're still in my heart, but I have to put you in this box.
Yeah.
I call you on your birthday.
Yep.
We talk on Christmas. You're gonna be the first person I send a happy Mother's Day behind my core people. You know what I mean? Like it's okay to
Mhm.
have people in their respective boxes. And I think if people
Yeah.
learned how to do that
Yeah.
more often, that there would be so much more like the friendships would thrive better. The
Yeah.
friendships would be more genuine. And I feel like this generation right here, like this generation, like my kids, my daughter's 22. She's about to be 22. And I'm glad that she's such a level-headed girl. And she'd be like, I don't have no friends. Part of me
Mm.
is sad about that, but the other part of me realizes that these people that she talks to every
Mhm.
day or she communicates with, they are not her friends. They don't have
Right.
her back. And like
Right.
I grew up in New York and our circles were small because it was always people out to get you.
Facts.
And so I try
Facts.
to teach my daughter that, but at the same time, I want her to foster friendships because they've gotten me a long way. But I think with the world we live in with social media and everybody
Yeah.
being behind an avatar or on a TikTok they're lacking that social interaction with
Mhm.
people.
Yeah.
Person.
Like we're
Mm-hmm.
interacting with each other, at least we can see one another. But a lot of times these kids, they talk on Snapchat, but they've never seen each other. They
Yeah.
don't
Mhm.
foster these friendships. They don't
Yeah.
even know how to do that. So it's our responsibility to teach them who are friends and that it's okay to put people in their respective boxes.
For
Agreed.
sure.
And I
Agreed.
think
We
that
got to
kind of
put
goes
that
back into
back.
what we were talking about with Mara touched on talking about social currency, because I feel like me relocating from New York, coming to North Carolina, what I've seen a lot of is the social currency of it all. Like, and it's people like my age and older, where it's so important for them to be in a room full of people that is like, okay, it's I don't know, Cinco de Mayo, and we all gonna go out and just sit down and look at each other in the face and take pictures and have something to post. And everybody's my girlfriend, this is my girl, this is my boo, this is my this. And it's just like, how are you being genuine? You know what I'm saying? And it's just for the social currency of it all, just to say I
Yeah.
have
Mm-hmm.
people, I'm outside or whatever. And
Hmm.
I feel like even as it relates to marriages or relate or long-term relationships, where if that is the type of person that you are, right, let's say that you're this huge social butterfly, and when you get married you just like start switching it up on everybody. Like I was watching a show, Martha's Vineyard, Summer House, Martha's Vineyard, with the black folks. And one of the castmates, I think her name is Jasmine or something. Jasmine is a newlywed, and a majority of the people that are on the trip are friends that she's known for years. Her and one of her close friends, Jordan, they got kind of into it because Jordan's like, I don't know this person. I love you, but I don't know this person. Who's this new Jasmine? Like, don't try to force being in a relationship on me now because you're married. And she just had all of these grievances where it's like, what do you do with that? I would present that as a question. What do you do with that where you now have a friend that have just got married per se, right? And now you're the single friend and she just switches up everything. She switches up how she acts, she switches how she communicates, she switches up like totally different. Where do you move forward in that type of friendship?
I mean, you really can't do nothing about. So right now on my YouTube channel, I'm doing a series on betrayal, right? And that kind of falls in line with that because I would personally feel betrayed if somebody did that to me because it's like, hold up, like we didn't even like where's all this coming from? At the end of the day, you can't really control other people's actions. So I mean, you can do your best to kind of voice whatever it is you feel, but if they continue to act like that, all you can do is just kind of take that L and really just kind of go your way, to be honest.
Yeah.
That might be
I
the
mean,
whole
yeah.
growing apart thing, to be honest.
Yeah.
What
I
were
mean,
you
I've
gonna say? What
had
were you gonna say, D-Man?
I mean, I haven't experienced that per se as far as the marriage aspect, but I've experienced just close friends getting into a relationship in general and just like switching up like just completely like kind of like going ghost. And I understand you're in a
Yeah.
relationship and I respect that, the dynamic will change to an extent, you know what I mean? But to like go cold turkey is wild to me. And what's crazy, I've also experienced, so they'll kind of cut me off, right? Or distance themselves, however you want to put it. And then if things happen to end terribly or on a bad note, or they break up, take time apart, whatever the case may be, then they'll come back, hey girl, and I'll be like, oh,
Yeah.
It's a
hey,
hey girl text.
what's
Hey,
what's
how
going on? A
you
little
doing?
catch up. Oh, well, we didn't work out. Oh, so now you're going, okay. And I mean, it's unfortunate, but it's a lot of people that just kind of like get lost in the sauce and just forget about everything and everybody prior to, and make their life all about this person. And God forbid it don't work out. Then it's like, well, who do I call now? Well, let me go back to so and so that I forgot about. I'm
Right.
like, that's so
I'm gonna
messed
be
up. And
honest.
I
I
look at it
think that
that
it
way
happens
because,
more often than we will admit. Like it's
yes,
No, it
been
do.
plenty of times,
I,
that you get into a new relationship and I ain't gonna say what people call it, but you be so into that relationship that nobody else matters. And it,
Yeah.
it may be for a little season and you get back around. And see, what I've learned how to do is not take people too seriously and not take everything so
Personal.
personal. And I
Mm,
think now that I'm a married woman, I can look at things like that because I have seen friends get into relationships or get married and they be different. And me being the single person and not knowing what that world is like, I just know that they're different. And while I may not necessarily understand it, I always try to respect it because this is now their partner. So there are going to be changes. No, I don't, anticipate. I don't think I would really like it if they ghosted me or if they just were like, all right, screw you. You know what I mean? Like I don't see that being it, but if you see a change in this woman because she's gotten married, she's in a new relationship, I think a conversation could be warranted where you're letting that friend, if she's really your friend, if she's your sister, because see, I don't have a lot of friends. I got sisters. And so if I can't be like, this is how I feel about X, Y, and Z, and she be able to put some clarity as to where she stands in your friendship, then I think there's a bigger problem. Not that she got married and she ghosted you. There's a communication issue between you and your sis that
Yeah.
needs to now be addressed so that you can let her know, like, I realize you got married, but dang, we used to at least talk every Sunday. Maybe we can do it, every other Sunday or something. Like, I think when a person means a certain amount to you, you don't just write them off.
yeah,
It's a big change for
it's
them.
not
You know what I mean? It's
conditional.
a huge change.
I think when it comes to
communication.
situations like that, that people don't verbalize that you're now in a different box. They may put you in a different box and basically didn't say it. Like, so it kind of catches you off guard. Like, I'm thinking I'm your close friend and we were rocking like close friends, but now you put me in an associate box and I didn't even know I was put in that box. So now I'm thinking, hey, we about to, do what we do and hang out and talk how we talk. But it's like, nah, son, you an associate box. So I'm gonna holler at you like maybe once a month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It may be a hard
This is
happens,
not
conversation
being
though for
rude.
some.
unfortunately.
To be honest, like it may be a hard conversation for some.
Definitely, but see, I always had married friends, so I kind of got it before I even was in that position. I got it because now your responsibilities are different. You're a wife. You're
Yeah,
probably a mother before you a wife. Nowadays, you know what I mean. It's a lot of responsibility, and you want to make sure that you're taking care of home. But usually, at some point, if you do that, you do start feeling that void. You start feeling the lack of those friendships and those connections that you had, and then you start to kind of double back like, hey girl, I'm sorry, like, life has been lifing and da da da. And I think if you can have that conversation, usually a
yeah,
lot of things will be put into perspective and all of it will be
Yeah.
yes,
different. But you
I
have those
agree.
people that'll just completely, they won't respect the change that you had to make,
Mhm.
so then that's a whole nother story though.
Yeah, because then it could turn into
Um,
attack mode, and then
Yeah.
that's it.
It's a whole other game
Attack
at
and
that point.
so
defense.
Mhm.
we have a super chat. We have a super chat. I'm gonna throw it on the screen. It is
Yeah.
so it is a little off topic. Okay, we want sound effects, I guess,
Wait,
right? So
what? Is
that's
that
what we're
deep?
doing. That's
Wait,
what we're
what?
Really
This
kind
is a
of.
lot of questions.
It
so
is.
so
It
okay.
is.
It is a question. So it says, can we get
Questions.
some introspective transparency? Yeah, questions. Okay. Where do you need to grow? I'm guessing as women, right?
Mhm.
How did you ruin your last relationship? And are you always the victim? Okay.
I have
Definitely
a
off
response
topic.
for most of that. Well, really not a response, but I just want to know who on here said that they were a victim of any relationship. Oh, where Mingo go?
He coming.
Mingo.
He coming.
Oh, I looked away and I was like, hold up, did the light switch?
Something shifted.
Yo,
Okay, there it going. Oh,
yo,
wait, wait.
and
No,
I
that threw me
work for
off though.
Spectrum, yo. It's
Mm,
trash.
Get on them
No,
people.
Spectrum
Don't
is
say
Get them.
trash.
Spectrum
Get on
is
them.
fine.
No,
Spectrum
that's
is
literally yo
fine.
Mingo.
Spectrum
I'm
pays
right. I'm
bills.
right above. I'm right
Let's
above the water.
He's like,
relax,
is it
everybody.
sure
Everybody just chill
that we
Bro,
out,
not talking
okay?
against Spectrum?
Y'all
bro,
Be
bugging.
no.
sure.
I'm
It was
done.
just so weird because I literally looked away and I looked back and I was like, what?
Be like, wait,
Yo.
No, but
maybe she
hold
need the
on, let me
glasses.
look at this real quick. 'Cause I just got that joint was hilarious. Where did super chat go? Oh, here it go. Here it
Okay,
go.
I'll put it back up. I'll put it back up. There we go.
Okay, hold on.
All right.
But I just snorted, y'all.
I heard it. Yeah.
But
It's okay, girl. No
nah.
judgment.
Real time. Real time.
Nah, so I was just gonna say, like, okay, introspective, whatever. But like, who said anybody ruined any relationship, and then who on here is playing a victim? I think all of us are just collectively speaking on, situations in general. It's not anything specific anyone's directing or whatever. I mean, I personally opened up about something that happened almost 6, 8, 9 years ago. But that, I don't think anyone is basically, I think
No
that
one ever
comment.
said
I
anyone
feel I
fucked
feel like
up.
those questions are messy. That's what I'm gonna
It
say.
is
Yeah,
messy,
and
and I
I
it's,
feel like
feel
it's
I'm
like
looking
definitely
at
stupid,
it.
and
put
I'm
in
not
a
going
totally
to.
different direction of
It
what we're
is.
Yeah.
talking
It's a
about.
Sunday.
I'm trying
Thank
to
you,
even figure out
Queen.
how I can put it into terms of what we are actually talking about.
Thank you. Thank you.
How
Thank
about,
you.
how about we could take a little
I'll
bit
take
from
it
it.
down.
How have any of you, myself included, um, played a role in your last friendship? And was that person a married person or a single person? So
Okay.
we're talking about the
Last
demise of
dissolved.
your last of a your
Okay.
the last friendship that ended. What was the circumstances? We ain't got to go all deep in, don't get
Mhm.
too deep and dangerous with the details. But I'm just saying where
Right.
where what I'm saying. What role did you play, if anything, and was the circumstances a married? versus single, or when y'all both single, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
can talk
yeah.
about
Real
it.
quick, before we answer that, we got another super chat from Coach
Hey.
Rasheen. And he says,
I like
people who
that.
don't
That's good.
like you for being yourself, F them against
You know that's
with
Professor,
handcuffs
right?
Bye.
and crazy glue on his lips. New friends. He Amari called me. But
Yo,
Why that sound like?
see,
Is that Professor?
That's
Is he?
It is
Is
that's
that
Professor.
Professor. That
Yes,
gotta be
that's him,
do you guys see
Rasheen.
not
do you
for
guys see
nothing? The
all the
coach part. I feel like I could see him being a coach, like a football coach.
Right.
For
that's how
like
he
a
talking
high
to the
school,
kids.
I don't know why I see that. I can see him
That's
like,
how he
hey,
talking to the
give me
kids.
your laps. Go. But
Nah,
anyway,
nah, Dion, he talking to the kids like that.
yeah.
I
Bruh,
believe it. Yes,
I
I can
can't.
see it. I'm telling you.
Be like,
And they probably
F
do the
them
Bernie Mac
losers. We
voice on
gonna
top of
win.
it.
We
Hey,
gonna
what you doing? Anyway,
win.
but yes, let's remember our question. Okay, so
Yeah,
what?
but you're switching the whole topic.
Yeah, but we're not talking about
Now
that.
we're
This is
talking
ladies' night.
about.
We're not talking about that.
This,
This is ladies' night.
you know what I'm saying? It's ladies' night. We had a song in the beginning. You missed it.
We
I
gonna
Yeah,
mean,
because
bacon
that's
beans. You
not.
we're
keep
not
that
playing. We're
up.
not
Yeah,
playing
we're
that.
not here to address none of that. We're
we
just speaking
appreciate you though,
on.
sir. We appreciate you.
Yeah,
We
we
do.
do.
My God, Bean.
So yes, going back to the question that I tried to turn into a different question to kind of in relation to what we talked about.
Mhm.
What was the demise of your last friendship, and was it a married versus single friendship that ended? Without going into too much detail, because this is the internet. Just say, or
Okay,
you can, you can
so
be as
last,
transparent or whatever it is you want to be. What role
like
did you play?
friendship or like relationship.
I would say friendship because we're talking about friendships.
Okay, cool, friends. Well, my last, like, I mean, I don't already, like I said, I already said it. I mean, I think in my issue overall for like in general, because I could say in intimate and in regular relationships, I just
Mm,
overly give.
mm.
Um,
You're
um,
Aries,
I,
that's why.
huh? You're
I said because you're Aries, that's why.
yes, ma'am.
You
Yes,
do.
ma'am. Very
You
passionate.
do.
Very passionate. I care about people as a whole. So I think sometimes I just get overwhelmed in trying to help somebody, giving too much, not vetting them out properly, and really that, yeah.
Mm,
Yeah, I'm definitely not gonna go into detail on this one. But it was with. I mean, we're friends now, so we did take a little break, and it's my best friend of since high school,
mm,
and I'm 39, so do the math. Um, but she was dating
mm,
my brother,
Oh Lord.
and I'm really close with all my siblings, like that, and it's my younger brother, and I'm really protective of my brother too, but that's a whole nother story. But they dated, and it was a shocker at first. I was like, this is different. Not really
wow.
sure how I felt about it. It took me a little bit to warm up to it, not gonna lie, but it was cool once it kind of got going. And I accepted it. I was like, okay, cool, I love him, I love you, like, you already family, so maybe you could really be family, right? Well, it didn't
Mm,
work out. It was some crazy stuff that went down, and
Yeah.
I I didn't know how to handle it at all.
mm,
Like, I didn't even know how to like address it, like how to, bruh. It was just weird. I needed to like collect my thoughts, because I didn't know what to think. I didn't know what to feel. It's like, obviously I still love her. I still love my brother, but it was too much, bruh. So I went without speaking to her for, gosh, probably like 6 7 months, not gonna lie.
oh, okay.
um and I finally reached out to her because she did hit me up last, and I didn't respond. I didn't even know what to say, to be real. But I did reach out to her, and we met, and we talked about it all, just hashed it out, and understood where she was coming from and vice versa, and we're good now. I mean, it's a process.
Right.
We're still getting back good, but I don't there's no bad blood or anything. But as far as what role I played, I mean, I don't know. I distanced myself, like, purposely, though, because
Okay.
I just needed time.
Mm,
and it wasn't to say that I was never going to speak to her again. Obviously, I'm speaking to her now, but I just distanced myself because I needed to figure it out for me, like
Process.
how I wanted to move
Yeah.
forward with that situation. So yeah, so I guess
Yeah, it was wild. It
that's
was a
that.
wild one.
Yeah.
mm.
Mm.
Just do you have one that you
So I
wanna?
mean, I kind of do. A lot of my what I call friendships probably graduated into associates, in a sense. Nothing really like I don't know anything of like crazy endings per se, but I know with my move from New York to North Carolina, I definitely had some friendships that tapered off a little bit.
Mm,
And it's not like, we still Christmas cards, there'll be the birthday texts, things like that, like what we were talking about earlier. And not that I would not say that she's not my friend. We've been through a lot together, everything like that. But I guess outgrew a little bit, and just the distance. We both tried, but it just didn't sustain.
mm.
Mhm.
So with
Still got
even
love
with
for
you
her.
saying that some of them graduated to the associate, was there a conversation or it just kind of happened organically and was just like everybody was on the same page, pretty much like this is where we're
I
at
feel
and that's
like
just what it is.
some things I feel do not need to be said, as in to say, like, we both kind of communication kind of tapered off.
Mm,
It'll still be the birthday text and things like that, but the conversations and all that, it tapered off on both ends. you know um and it made me realize a lot about that friendship too, like, look, just hindsight, looking back at everything. And you know still got respect for, still got love for, and
mm.
everything, but I just put it where it is a little bit.
So with the friendships, I just want to kind of go over it before I go to Lady Fresh.
Oh no,
All
y'all
of
can
these,
skip me on that one if y'all want.
oh, we're not gonna skip
No.
you, girl, because we ain't gonna
No.
skip me. So we gonna talk about it, okay? Um, with these friendships with people that were single, none of them were married. Everybody was in the single space, or
Mhm.
were you, if you were ever married or whatever the case may have been, like what was the dynamic of your relationship status at the time and that person's relationship status?
Well, her friendship was always with it was during singleness. We were actually friends from young, and
Okay.
during marriage and everything. Really, what impacted it the most was a little bit before the move, and then the move. And then I guess we were just kind of growing apart in a sense, like,
Mhm.
just with
Mhm.
different things. So,
So was that the same pretty much like for you as well, D-May? It was that situation, they were dating. It wasn't
Mhm.
nobody got married, obviously. She wasn't no
Right.
sister.
Yeah. No,
And
she wasn't. Yeah, she was just in a
she was a
relationship. She wasn't
potential.
dating.
It was possible. So more real talk. What was the status with that? What was the dynamic at that time? Were you guys both single? Was one
Um,
married?
yeah, no, we were both single. She's a lot younger than I am. Um, so she's kind of just more like outside in that aspect than I am.
Okay.
I'm a little bit more conservative, but other than that, I mean, she was really cool. I kind of looked at her as like a little sister. She came to me for lots of advice. Like I said, she comes from a tragically broken home, so I was happy that she would call on me for certain things, and we would always have a lot of fun together. And we would be on the phone day and night. So when she switched up and looked like, and on my birthday, the perfect time.
Not on the birthday. I know you was big man, but go ahead.
I was, but
I
luckily,
don't like
hey,
it.
yeah, luckily, I think I've said
Disrespecting
it
my
before.
birthday.
I've had better friendships with males than I have females. So luckily, my two homeboys that from my last job that I got fired at, Mingo.
Yo,
Last job I had
It
got
wasn't
fired
me.
at.
I was not your
I'm done.
supervisor. It was not me.
dun, dun,
I'm
we just
done.
gonna bypass that one. We just gonna bypass.
Yeah, like they, I
Let's
was
go.
excited. My only two homeboys, they came through, fit right in with the family. We was in here cutting up, just playing around. But yeah, but it did hurt my feelings though. It hurt me a lot more than I thought it would have, because I wasn't ready for that at all. Like I'm like, yo, like why she acting like that? And yeah, but she still watch everything I post on Instagram though.
Of course.
They will watch.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
So
They will watch.
Lady Fresh,
Yeah.
Lady Fresh,
Your
we are
turn.
looking at you. What's up, lady?
Lady
What's going on,
Fresh.
girl? Spill the tea now. Now, because you act like that, I really want to know what
I know.
happened.
Nah,
Right.
she gonna come out
Yeah,
with,
you know.
I was the one. It was
No,
my
actually, I can
fault.
confidently say 90% of it was not my fault. You know, there was alcohol involved. Similar to my sister up there, who I was actually look at my husband with the eyes because he's like, how is she gonna maneuver this story? And honestly, I was gonna tell a different story, but I'm like, you said the last one, so I want to be transparent and be honest.
Okay.
But it's not something I talk about very much. But the fallout, and I haven't fell out with many of my friends, honestly. So this one was, it was devastating to more like the people around us. But it was my best friend, from like kindergarten, best friend, and it actually came to physical blows
Oh,
Oh,
in my home. And I am now married to her brother.
I kind of want to be messy. Did you win?
Wait.
I don't know.
She married her
It's
brother.
breezy.
Hold on, you ain't hear what she said? She
We
married her
tea.
brother.
I'm married to her brother.
Hold on. I
That,
need the tea
I
on
got
this.
that, but I want to know, did you win the fight, though?
I'm gonna let my husband answer because he's gonna be honest. He's not. If I got my ass beat, he's gonna say it. I'm gonna let him put it in the chat whether or not.
So hold on,
I
let's
won
do
that
this.
He
fight.
washed up his, he washed up his
You
sister.
know, it was a very
Hold on,
unfortunate
hold on.
situation, but we are cool. We're sister-in-laws now, so it's never in my heart to hold grudges. And the reason I'm that way is because I lost people very close to me when we weren't speaking or when they were upset with me. I was 11 years old when I lost my mom, and she was the last thing she said to me before she passed away was, "I'm disappointed in you." So when you're 11 years old and you live with something like that, it does something to your mental, right?
Right.
My daughter's father, we had a huge argument and we didn't speak for 6 months. The last phone call I got was that he was gone. And so like me, I've always been a person, like, even if I'm upset, like I try to squash it. Even if we don't have to talk, we don't have to talk every day. I just want to squash it where there's no bad blood, there's nothing in the air, because there's nothing like not being able to say something to somebody ever again that you want to say something to. So I always try to squash it. So her and I are good. Like, she apologized to me. We mend fences. I check on her. It's never the same. That's that box we talked about, right?
Yeah.
We're friends. But distance came between us. Life started lifing. She went through something traumatic. Like my sister over here, more real talk. I'm a giver. I love to give. I will listen to what you say. And on Christmas morning, you're going to open it up. Like, that's me. That's my love language. And I pour into people. And my husband always tells me, sometimes you do too much for people. You do too much. You give so much of yourself and they don't reciprocate it. And that just happened to be one of them situations where I was pouring into a person who wasn't ready to receive what it was I was giving her. I was giving her opportunity to really change her life. And she just wasn't in a headspace to do it. And the conversation, unfortunately, happened when alcohol was involved. And me being me, like, I just kind of laughed at her acting crazy. And she decided she wanted to put her hands on me. And so me being a Harlem chick, that wasn't going to rock. So best friend or not, got an ass drug. And we
Lady Fresh.
I did
Show you New
restrain
York
myself
style.
because I found myself in a
Dog
position
walked her.
where really inflicted physical harm, but I could never do that to somebody I love. I love this person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Regardless if I'm mad at you right now, or even if you violate me, because see, that's the common misconception is that people can hurt you or violate you and you just stop loving them automatically. Hell no, because that's why it hurts so much, because you violated me.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Right.
Because I love you. You know what I mean? So it took me some time. Needless to say, she wasn't in my wedding. She didn't even come to my wedding, but we've rebuilt a friendship, and we're sister-in-laws, and like we apologize for our parts in it, and we're good. Like there's no bad blood. I don't hold anything against her, but I do know that she's in a different box. We're not best friends, we're family, but she's just in the box over here now, not the box she was over here, and that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. I couldn't cut her out of my life, but yeah.
Right.
But that's a story for
Understand that.
a whole
Yes.
nother episode.
Mm.
Man. So
Oh,
The tea is in the
that that
comments.
that, that was a
Yes,
wild
my
that was a
husband,
wild story. Yeah,
he
the
was
T's
waiting
in the
because he was
con
like, "What
the
she gonna
T's in
say?"
the
I
comments.
can't even
Hey.
lie. That was
So what
he was hot.
so we're gonna take a I have to take a quick little commercial break. Well, this is not really a commercial
Okay,
break.
commercial.
This is me mentioning my brand sponsor, Tish Henley, who I don't know, I like so much light going on, but
But
I
you
am an
gotta like
affiliate.
cover it
They
like the YouTubers do when
okay,
they're
here we go. Here
yeah,
we go.
there you
I guess
go.
there we
No,
go.
like at the top.
Tish, all right. So Tish Henley, who it's a male face wash. I use it myself every day. And it also has an AM PM moisturizer. So I don't go outside looking ashy. And I don't go to sleep next to my wife Dion feeling ashy. So, fellas, get your Tish Henley order now. It's in the description. So please click the link. You'll get 30% off your first order and 20% off a lifetime with my affiliate link. So, Tish Henley, get with it, y'all. All right, let's continue.
Nice.
So this part of the game, hold up, we got another super chat. All right.
Oh yeah.
Shout out to GMT and the panel. Congratulations on the new podcast, ladies. Y'all are safe from me here. So y'all safe from Chill. He not even gonna come in so, yo, Chill is crazy. He's not gonna come in, I guess, but he is welcome. So here's what I'm gonna do, right? I'm going wait, he says, hold up, what? He said I need some Tish elbow Yo,
Oh no.
elbow sharpening Bob.
What is Professor talking about?
I'm guessing he's ashy, so
I'm
he's like, yo,
weak.
his elbow. Tish Henley is a face wash. It's not for your whole skin. But all
Listen,
right.
you
Yeah,
may not
he might need
know.
to find
You know
something
what I'm
for.
saying? It may work on the elbows. Just don't
I
count it out.
guess. But listen, purchase it from my affiliate link and let me know how it works with your elbows. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna drop the link because I do want to have just a perspective. If I want the audience to engage with y'all, because this is dope. I know a lot of panels do not have women on it. Especially the majority of it is women, and it's holding down just y'all perspective. I don't feel like, like I said on male panels, y'all get out talked and not really allowed to really get how you feel out, right? And I understand that. So I wanted to open this safe space for y'all. But right now, I don't know who's gonna come in, but I just dropped the link in the chat to allow some questions to come in from male and females.
I think one reason that it may be that most women we get over talked on the panel. I think a lot of men just don't want to hear what a woman has to say. Period. I think most men just don't really want to hear anything that a woman has to say because it could give them some type of reaction of what their mama used to do. Their mama was probably always yelling, or whoever was their womanly figure in their life. So I think like sometimes when women talk, and especially if we let's say we really hitting the nail on the head and like we're making a valid point, we not on here being emotional and all that stuff. I think that's also where it really hits home for some men because it's like they don't want to accept it. I think they don't want to accept certain things that women have to say, and then some men too, depending on the age, are kind of stuck in their ways. You know how they say you can't treat an old dog new tricks. So and let's say they've been operating in a certain manner all their life, and now we're in a newer age where women are speaking out. I think some of them might be like, oh hell nah, like you ain't gonna talk to me like that. You know what I'm saying? when really we just be on here trying to speak our truth the same way they get on there and say crazy stuff about women all the time. Yeah.
Honestly, I feel like sometimes there is and this is in no way trying to invalidate or belittle, just prefacing with that. But I do think sometimes some men can operate in a place of hurt. So their reaction is coming from a place of I feel vulnerable even feeling the feelings that I'm feeling based on this particular topic. And it's going to come out a little aggressive. It may come out a little defensive. And that's, I mean, that just comes with masculinity in general. There is a level of aggression. There's, you know, that dominant persona that's there for most men. So I think that comes into play when it could be a touchy subject. And the best way or sometimes the easiest thing, because I feel like generally that's the easiest way people like to operate is in anger. It's the easiest emotion to tap into is to be angry. You don't want to, I myself, I hate to cry. I get so mad that I am getting to the point of tears because I don't want to feel that. I ain't trying. No, okay. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, I'm a little bit, you know, I'm a softer version of Tupac, like thug life all day. Like that is like a mantra. I tell my friends, I'm a thug. I'm not crying. Don't make me be like this. Cut it out. So I feel like if it had to happen to like, you know, a guy, oh my gosh, I can imagine. You ain't trying to feel all that. You ain't trying to tap into that. So now you go into a topic and you're like,
but
no, because it's like this. Da, da, da. Okay, bro, you got it.
Got it.
You got it, Queen. You talk about your earth.
They just hit the nail on the head. Marietta
Hamilton.
Some men are just not mature enough to appreciate what a woman's perspective looks like. Too much ego. And yo, me and my sister T was just talking about this too as well. Like that's a fact as well. It comes with a lot of ego and pride, and it's just like put that down. We're not doing that right now. Like you don't have to come, you know, Aries ready for battle. Like put that shit down. Like we just
you already know. I don't want to cry. She a thug too. She a thug. Sorry. We had a chat right there. We had a comment.
Marietta is definitely thug. Oh, not a thug. Well, thug wife.
That's
Anyways.
Queen Ears.
You gotta hear her say it.
It's just I don't know. I don't understand why they get so mad. Like,
Migo, why y'all be getting so mad?
So,
I'm playing, bro. I'm playing.
No. It's a good question. I like the question. I like it. So I don't think for the most part men necessarily get mad. Like, especially, I'm not going to speak on the internet because I think there's a lot of internet thugs going on out here. But when it pertains to real life, I don't think most men are walking around naturally angry. I think we walk around with a certain type of aggression because, you know, it's almost like you have to be, right? We know that at any given moment that, you know, if me and let's say Beans had the same type of confrontation that a woman could bring to us, the likelihood is that he and I are we're going to be throwing fists with each other, right? So we have to move with a certain type of mannerisms in order for another man to not see that. But you're not necessarily mad. You're more walking around with your masculinity showing all the time, which could come as an ego, right? Which could come across as something that, you know, people might look at as aggression, but other men understand it. Like right now, me and Beans can have a conversation and get into a complete back and forth and have no emotions behind it. And y'all be like, yo, y'all were just yelling at each other. Okay, I'm not mad at him. We can go out for drinks after this.
But see, okay, but no, there's definitely some truth to that for sure. Men can, you know, squash it. Y'all can do what y'all need to do.
They gotta move on.
But however, there's just as many men out here that act like they don't have no emotion behind it. And I think that's what Miss Dion was talking about as well, is like there's an underlying hurt that some men may even lash out on when the situation is not a life and death. It's simply something that your girl is telling you that she feel and you ready to spaz. And it's just like, that's what we're saying. Like, why are y'all getting so mad? But no one is saying, because we know y'all, man, I like that aggression to a certain degree now. Relax. To a certain degree. I like it because, you know, I'm a little feisty and I like to be put in my place sometimes. But it's It's
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
levels. Like, I don't know. Like, no one's taking away the aggression from me. But sometimes when women say very simple things or just how we feel, a man will literally explode. And we're like, and it really be like pride and ego. And we thinking like, are you good? Like,
But
let me never say that again.
so
I'm never gonna say
so
it
the
again.
question, so those
Are
type
you
of
okay?
those type of emotional men exist, right? I'm not taking away from they're not out there, right? We're looking at the majority of men. I'm speaking about the majority. I understand that your experience, you more real talk, you might experience men in different ways and they may come across as that. Sometimes it could be what you might think, oh, I'm just speaking to you soft and dainty, and that's it. It could come across to a man as sarcasm. It could come across as all types of other stuff. And I think also a lot of men get confused. Well, not confused. It's how our perception of what you're telling us may come across. That can make us be like, yo, who you talking to? So
Yeah.
I think a lot of relationships do fall into us really getting to have to understand and know each other. And then when you do kind of have that playing field where, because Lady Fresh, I know you and your husband get into it from time to time, right? And when you
She
do,
just told you she
you
from
guys
Harlem.
at this point,
So is
yeah,
he.
you know what I'm saying? I'm from Queens, shout out Queens. But when y'all get into it, it's kind of like one of those things where y'all understand each other though. So y'all are always able to bring it back down. But I'm sure he doesn't come at you rah-rah the moment you say something to him, right?
Nah, we
Right.
I don't know. I always say we different. You know what I mean? And to each point, like I feel like those scenarios that y'all just gave happens on both ends. Sometimes a man will come to us and say X, Y, and Z, and they can be calm, but we can take it the wrong way. Like for instance, text messaging. My husband always said I hate text messaging because you really don't know the tone behind what somebody is saying.
Okay.
Like y'all could be talking about something and I could text, so what you want to do? He took it like what you want to do. And I'm just saying, well, what do you want to do, babe? Like it's up to you.
Yeah.
He's reading it like, well,
What's
what you
up?
want to do? Like, why you gotta ask me so aggressive? Like, I think there's a communication thing. Like, and it could just be mood for the day. It could be something you said last week still bothering you. That's where communication comes into play. So I always, whenever I talk about these relationship things, because this is one topic that me and my husband get into it. Sometimes I like to do it with him. I don't do it a whole lot, but I always just try to point out that we as women, like men have their things and women have their things. Ultimately, we all want the same thing. Like we really do. We
Right.
all want to be loved and respect. For men, respect, I feel like is more important to them. When they feel respected, they're gonna give you all the love in the world. When a woman feels loved, she's gonna give you all the respect in the world. And so if we can figure out how to meet in the middle and just understand that 9 times out of 10, that person wants the exact same thing that you want, I feel like the conversations won't go to the left as much. Like
That's
if you could just dial it back just a little,
Come on,
not think about what the point is
preaching.
that you're trying to make and just kind of see from the other side. And that
Mhm.
seems to be very difficult for both men and women when you want to get that point across. But
Yeah.
ultimately, I just try to look at it like, and I feel like he does the same. Like, she really just want the same thing I want. I really want the same thing that he want, and we just need to find that commonality, that respect for one another, that love for one another, and get through it. But yeah, we kid at each other sometimes, and I'm not always the most docile. I don't mean to be disrespectful, but I'm not always the most docile. But if I was, I don't think that my husband would love me the way that he does. He needs a little bit of that challenge. It does something for our relationship. But I do think sometimes we miss each other's social cues.
Mm.
But see,
I wanted to touch on that. Okay. I wanted to just touch on it real quick, and then sorry, I know this is ladies' night. But yo, you just hit the nail right on the head. I love what you said. Understanding both, what we both need out of each other. Because as men, you are 100% right. I look at love as a fleeting feeling. So today I could feel like I'm madly in love with you, and tomorrow I could be like, yo, get out of my face. Right? Sorry, wife. But
I mean, that's the only person you talk about.
Yeah.
Like,
So but then the biggest thing that I ask for, and Dion can actually contest to that, I always say is respect. You know what I'm saying? And then when she has her rebuttal to it, it's like, but I don't feel love. Like I don't feel something. It might not be the word love, but it'll be more of a I don't feel something, right? And feelings go along those lines. So that's a good. I think you hit that right on the head. I just wanted to give you your big ups for that.
I do think that that's the dynamic of the man woman relationship, and it's not to say that the men don't want to be loved, because they do. But I guarantee you, if you did a poll amongst 100 men, and you
if it's
put
love or
what would you
respect, they're gonna
prefer
pick respect.
from your significant other, would you prefer their love or their respect? And they're gonna, I believe that 98% are gonna say they would prefer the respect, because like you said, men look at love as a fleeting feeling, and I I do believe that it can be fleeting, but when you're with that right person, it always doubles back. It always double back. Like, you know what I mean? It comes back. And you're not gonna always be head over heels in love with that person every moment, because we're human and we do stuff that bother each other and get on each other's nerves and disagreements, and I want to do this and you want to do that, and we got bills and I got to work, and I'm on a woman goes through hormone, like we got all of that. But at the end of the day, when that woman feels loved and protected, I heard a little bit about that when y'all were talking about the whole femininity thing yesterday, which I don't correlate femininity with
Submission.
obeying or submission. I don't correlate the two. One doesn't have anything to do with the other, but that's a whole nother topic. But when you do have that mutual respect, and I'm telling you, that man gonna give you what you need. And when you getting that love from that man, that woman is gonna give you everything in her to show you, you know what I mean, that you're loved and respected.
Yeah.
That's just been my take on it, being a married woman. Because
Right.
that's who I submit to, is my husband.
Yeah, I definitely was gonna point that. Oh, go ahead, Jess.
Well, I was just gonna say, I kind of look at sometimes even the climate that we are in now, though. I feel like both women and men are kind of in this defensive space, and it's so like it may be that they want that love and all that and the respect and everything, but I feel like being defensive is kind of taking this overshadowing everything. Whereas, and even no matter what a woman may want to share, um, you know, the men may be like, take it a certain way, or what a man will want, in a sense, the women are taking a certain way, and everybody's defensive.
Mhm.
And I think that's what's kind of muddying the whole water. Like, granted, like Lady Fresh, you're married, Dion and GMT, y'all married, so it's different when you look at it, because you are with that committed person that you can let your guard down, that you can do all of that. But then now when you have single women, we are facing where, okay, how do we get to that space when there's that defense wall up for both men and women?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Can we touch on one of those comments? The last one.
Hold on 1 second. More real
okay.
talk was gonna say something.
Oh, sorry.
No, I was just gonna agree with what GMT said, and definitely what Jess said. I think there's definitely a switch in the generations that are coming up behind me and the current one that I'm in now. I think a lot of people are more so looking to see what they can get out of a relationship versus what they can provide. And I don't think intentions are genuine. So, Lady Fresh, I feel like you have a very, a powerful example and dynamic of how you and your husband operate. And it's just like when people get in relationships, though, instead of them finding out what each other needs, how you and your husband have, like I said, they're trying to figure out what they can get. And it comes into sometimes an abusive situation where you're just using people, manipulating and lying. And it's just not conducive to our society.
Excuse me.
Yeah, I agree with that to a degree. I mean, like, I do believe that, you know, everybody gets into a relationship wanting to gain something. Like, they want to improve their life, they want to improve their situation. But you should also be in that mind space of, what am I offering the other person to make them want to commit to me at that capacity? So I honestly, and I hear people say it all the time, it's like, people use people. If you can't be used, you're useless. You know what I mean? Like, we're all gonna get used for something. It's when it becomes abuse, when it becomes, when it becomes, it's all about you. If you know you're not bringing nothing to the table, then you can't really expect for the situation to be equal and like both people be in it for the same reasons, because you didn't come genuine. You know what I mean? But you definitely, I definitely think that it's, it's unrealistic to say, that you're going to enter into a situation not hoping to gain something. Because I know when I got with my husband, and I've had experiences before him with men that were not like at the level of what I felt like I wanted to say could be my husband. And I think I'm okay to be able to say that this wasn't it. Men tell us all the time, we complain about these dudes, we need to choose better. But we actually can give men that same advice. They can choose better too, instead of complaining about ain't women and what they can get and all that. Yeah, it's
that's
like,
right.
No, I totally agree with you. I think, your expectations need to be managed, and you need to be real with yourself. Like, know what you're bringing to the table. You should know what you're bringing to the table, so that you're not in a position where you got to put up with a bunch of nonsense just because you want to be with somebody.
Right.
But that's what I was saying about the climate. A lot of people around us are so individualistically like minded. That's where they are, thinking individualistically. So it's like, that's what kind of makes it hard, because just as much as you're looking as what you can offer, what you can, and what you can get, like a simultaneous, there's some people who just don't care. Look at you, we see it around us so often, for the most part. And then that's, I think, where it gets hard.
Yeah, definitely.
I agree with that.
I agree.
Okay. Beans, what's up, man? You got a question for the panel?
I forgot he was here.
I knew you was gonna do that.
Sorry, you eating something, man.
Away.
Right.
That's why I said he's gonna wait till I put this food in my mouth.
What you eating, Beans?
Beans eating beans.
What
He
you
eating
got?
some beans. Pork and beans.
Give me like 60 seconds.
Lady Fresh, you was gonna say something?
No, yeah, you're good.
Well, we had a couple of comments.
I was laughing at what Chill said.
So Chill said, fellas, please read The Black Man's Guide to Understanding the Black Woman by Sister Shahrazad Ali, which I love Sister Shahrazad Ali, by the way. It says YouTube has it in audio. Play it while you're at work, during downtime, or whenever. Totally agree. And he also said, y'all better thank GMT for giving y'all a safe space, because Lord Jesus, y'all got me throwing my keyboard across the office right now with
this
job out there.
He proving your point right there. He proving your point.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's the point More Real Talk was making earlier. That point.
Thank you, Lady Fresh.
That's the exact point. We calmly sitting here talking.
There has not been one ignorant thing or something that could be thrown off the table that anybody has said here today. You got married women on this panel. You have respectable women on this panel that are single, and giving their opinion as well. What is it to throw your keyboard around, other than the fact that you don't like to hear women talk? And I understand reading different literature can give you a certain types of knowledge about the opposite sex or whatever the hell you want to, whatever. But if you just listen to women, you will know. You don't need to go and purchase a book for that. You just listen to the women that you know, that you have in your life. And since you're on social media, you can clearly listen to all the other women on this panel. Chill ain't slow, man. That's why I'm talking to Chill like that. Chill is smart.
Well. So here's the thing with so Sister Shahrazad Ali, her book is It's very deep. It's very it's not what you guys are talking about. So what you guys have to understand is exactly what you just said. Y'all are married women or single, respectable women on the panel. But could you guys honestly say that you're the average woman out there too?
I definitely feel like it's more of us than other. Just like
Right.
I refuse to believe that all men ain't.
I've only come across those types.
Definitely not all. I would never say all, right? But you got to think you got to look at men's experience, right? And why, I'm big on statistics, and I don't like to throw statistics around on the channel at all, because a lot of manosphere and all that stuff, they do that a lot. They throw around, oh, well, look at the numbers, right? Who's married, who's not, who's this, who's that.
Yeah.
And it is relevant to a conversation. I definitely understand it. But I like to look at people's experience and what people are saying themselves. So if men are saying that their experiences are not so favorable with women because women are leaving, women are this, women are not cooperating with them, women are being more masculine, women are being more this, you have to take that into account, that that's their experience. Just like we would have to take into your account what women are saying about men. So it goes both ways. So you can't really discredit a man when it's like, all right, you're saying that, but a lot of men don't feel that way because that's their experience.
But I think
the part that we were talking about in this particular situation was that this is our space where we're talking and we're having intellectual conversations about certain subjects that relate to us. So
I agree.
And when we're saying about the emotional or the aggressive, I mean, we all know it's a joke, but it's like, but why would you be upset about what we're saying? Is it because we're saying it, or is it literally? And we're talking about our experiences that we've each shared. Why would that, even in a joking manner, make you feel like, no, this is crazy?
I can definitely explain that.
He could definitely take that same keyboard and type a response.
I can't discount something that like you said, babe, talking about your experience as a man with whatever woman in whatever way. Same thing. I couldn't. Those are your experiences, and the same. We can't discount other men's experiences because those are their experiences. So we're sharing ours. We could disagree with it. We could say, oh, well, that sounds a little crazy. Like, how did that happen? But to have an emotional reaction to it is, where is that rooted in? Is that rooted in a place of hurt? Is that rooted in a place of uncomfortability? Because maybe you can relate to it because something happened to you and it's triggering, whatever the case may be. So that's the part where we're talking about.
Could it be disappointment? Like, could you accept it if a man said that it was disappointment? Right. So, because to Lady Fresh's point about the texting, right? I used to tell my ex that all the time. Like, I hate texting because of the way that it come off. Right. So if you look at the super chat that I sent, right, it was in general. Can we get some introspective transparency? Like, and then here are a couple of questions to as an example of what introspective transparency looks like, right? And the very first thing that More Real Talk said was that, well, who said anything about being a victim? And DeMay said, yeah, it's being messy. You see what I'm saying? But it was none of those things, right? It was me saying, hey, look, this is the opportunity for the conversation to go deeper. Dion, you just said we're having an intellectual conversation. Well, an intellectual conversation includes transparency and introspection, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's the time where when you take the time to sit back and say, okay, ladies, this is what we do. And this is what we do wrong. And this is where we need to fix. And this is how we need to act. And this is what we need to show. And this is how we can improve. And let me give you some examples of what we do, right? So when I watch and I'm just going to be honest, when I watch some of the white female content creators, that's what it's about with them. It's not about them sitting on a panel and saying, I feel. It's about them sitting on the panel and saying, yo, this is how we be moving. This is what we be doing. This is how we can be better. So so to your point, Dion, is like, I think that's why you can't get the emotional response of, I want to throw my keyboard across the room, because it's like, no, can you even just look at it from a space where you're not a victim? Like when More Real Talk said, go ahead.
And I think we opened that up, but
that was a prompt. Yeah, that's kind of what we were talking about, though, because I mean, prior to you making that comment, I personally have already said, just gave a minor situation about something in relation to what we're talking about, but the way you phrase a question, especially the last part where you say, "Are you always the victim?" You know, that is insinuating that either something that you've already said is saying that you're playing this victim role and you have a victim mentality, or you automatically think you're a victim in every situation, despite what that type of intro perspective that you're asking for. So it was the way that the question is framed to where it looks like you implied certain things without just genuinely asking, as you're saying right now. But we did definitely give some introspective, because we were talking about traveling, as Dion brought up some situations, Lady Fresh brought up some situations. I gave my opinion because I ain't married, I ain't traveling or whatever. But we've already kind of did that in a certain light, but maybe it wasn't what you guys wanted to hear. Give some type of intro perspective of what we were talking about.
But this what you're highlighting right now to me, and I'm glad that it's happening, is when you said like they don't have to read the book, they can just talk to the women in their life. This is why they can't, though, right? Because you're saying that the questions were framed in a certain way. They literally weren't. You get a certain amount of characters based on the money that you're seeing. That's how it works, right? So you can only put so much in there. So in order to just fit what I was trying to ask in there, it's just, it's just generous. Like, it's just the questions there. There is no insinuations to be had, right? It's specifically stating about, hey, listen, ladies, you have an opportunity right now, right? To separate yourselves from the other women. Because this is one of the complaints that the men are saying. We don't know how to separate the wives from the whores. You dress alike, you wear the same makeup, you wear the same lashes, you wear the same weaves, you talk the same, you sound the same, you have the same emotions and emotional responses. We don't know how to differentiate from you, right? This is an opportunity for you to do that. While I'm not saying don't say how you speak, at the same time, be more introspective, right? So think about it. The reason why the question could even come up is when the question came up about why men overtalk women on the panel. Lady Fresh, you watch a bunch of these podcasts, correct?
A few.
Do you see these men overtalking each other all the time?
All the time.
All the time, right? So
they're
then
worse than the women, if you ask me.
Exactly, right? So that's what I'm saying. In the conversation, when you want to say, why do men overtalk women? Don't think it's because you're a woman. Right? You're saying, why do men overtalk? Men overtalk because that's what we do, right?
But
that's just who we are. We overtalk.
May I interject?
But I don't think
absolutely,
the point
it's
is
your
that
show.
they didn't get all of that
wait, what was the
out of your question. It like you said, like I said earlier, text messages and stuff, they can be taken in a context in which you don't mean it. So what you wrote, while I didn't feel like it was offensive or anything, I don't think anybody got all of what you just said just now out of what you wrote there. Now,
but that wasn't about that though. That's why, Lady Fresh, because it was my text wasn't about that. That was after that, right? That statement that she made about men over talking women because we don't want to hear what they got to say. That's absolutely false. The shows where it's women on the panels do more numbers than anything else. The fact of the matter is that it's not that we don't want to hear what you have to say. We want to hear it a certain way. And I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just telling you what it is. We want to hear it from an introspective spot and not from a place where you're a victim. You're not being overtalked because you're a woman. You're being overtalked because you're on a panel with men. That's it. It's simple and plain. So that's why the space like this is necessary for you all to be able to get it across without having that interruption.
But we're saying, though, if you're saying for someone to give you an introspective example, that would still be them saying, I feel X, Y, and Z. It wouldn't be any different. The only thing you would know is that you would have the actual details. But in essence, they would be saying the same thing, because it's going to start off, well, it was me, whoever, whatever, and this is what happened, and this is how they made
coming from the experience.
Yeah, it would still be coming from the experience. So it's really,
and that's where it was going.
Exactly. So it's kind of like, okay, so what, you just want to know everybody's business, or are you trying to make like you have a genuine question or what? Because either way it goes, our position about how we feel is gonna remain the same. We're just gonna have the evidence for why we feel that way. And when we relate it to you, you'll do whatever you want to do and try to pick it apart and say it was this and that, and then we'll move on from there.
But you got to be
kind of like, I feel it's kind of that it's not your perspective, so you feel that we're not being introspective, right? Because the whole point is that we will, if we feel something that's valid, you saying that that's not how it is, is going to invalidate how we look at the situation. Now you can also explain it why you see it a different way, and that's how communication and conversation happens. But if you're going to continue just like throw it out and invalidate how we're telling you how it's coming across to us, and I'm not saying I agree or disagree with it, I'm just saying from how I'm looking at this conversation.
Yeah,
if you're going to you're invalidating how we're saying it's looking to from our end, or how it was said that it was looking from her end, and you're invalidating it. That's a fact. So now if you have a different view about how you look at it, then that's what the comment section is. You came up here, clarified of how you really look at it as a man's point of view. That's conversation.
Yeah.
Right. So but we're trying to have, so again, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just giving, again, my perspective, right? So don't take it as a demand. But when you say how you feel, you have to realize that how you feel for women, and you're not going to like this, but majority of the time is not based in reality, right? So as a woman, have you ever said, okay, we can do this all day long. As a woman, have you ever had, and I'm talking to Jess specifically, as a woman, have you ever had a man accuse you of cheating when you weren't cheating?
Of course.
So because he felt like you was cheating, is that reality?
And I can tell him that I wasn't. That's the communication part. No, listen. Yes. I gotta finish what I'm saying. I can tell him that I was not cheating. And if that's what you want to believe, then that's a whole nother issue that we're going to confront and have to converse about.
Right. So, Done. But was it reality? Because
hold on, Jess. Let me add this in.
I stated what.
Let me add this in. So you're gonna use a situation, an intimate situation between somebody about if they're cheating or not, right? And them asking a question on, or you asking them to explain why they're accusing them of these accusations and whatnot, versus a ladies' night panel where we're openly discussing on live just how we feel about friendships, relationships, trips, and men in general. That was probably one of the worst comparisons ever in life, because you're dealing with, like I said, an intimate, personal relationship you have. I don't got a personal relationship with nobody on this channel other than Mingo, T, and Miss D. So that comparison doesn't even relate, because you're speaking from a husband or relationships standpoint versus a panel of women talking. When you're in a relationship with somebody and he's accusing you of cheating or something, you owe them that explanation. Because at that point, if you are giving your life or time, money, all of this stuff to that person, and you're expecting to build a future, nigga, you owe me an explanation for why you accusing me or why I think you're cheating or whatever. On a panel like this, what Jess said, you're wanting to invalidate a woman's experience so bad. Oh, half the time what y'all thinking and saying ain't even reality. What are you talking about?
See, I didn't even say that.
You didn't say
that. This is what I mean. This is what I mean when he said about throwing the keyboard. Say it again. Say it again.
You said most of what women think or say isn't even reality.
Okay, cool.
You followed up and proceeded to give the example of her ex accusing.
Wait a minute. Wait. Let your sister say it again. I think your sister has just said something. What you said? What, D-Man?
I was clarifying what you said because it was different from what she said. That's what I said.
Oh wow.
He was saying what a woman feels, Brandon.
Wow.
So wait a minute.
But still, it doesn't
please,
matter
Miranda.
It doesn't matter whether you say feelings or not. You said that whatever she think, whatever she feel, isn't reality, and that's the point I'm trying to make. Is that you are disconnecting the actual experience of whatever she's feeling or thinking from reality. That's the point. Forget what I said.
More real. I just want to I just want to clarify something. Beans.
It's ladies'
I
night.
would love to have this on our Sunday panel.
But it's ladies' night.
I do want the ladies to, because have that feeling of like, okay, we can express ourselves, and the women gonna come in the chat. And
but no, but this is good, Lingo. This is Lingo.
No, hold on. Let me.
We don't want nobody blood pressure high.
No, because I do feel like you guys are having
the conversation.
No, I do feel like the conversation is definitely important. I do feel like it's important. It's relevant because you guys are speaking facts, right? On both ends and both realities, and not just y'all two, everyone here, right? I do know that women, like, Beans, women think different than us. So it's just natural. Like we go about things, we approach situations different than them. They're going to speak with their feelings more than we will. The likelihood has come with a whole bunch of like data, statistics, logic, this, that, the third, whole paperwork. We had people on the panel come in with literal paperwork. So they're gonna, your boy. With literal paperwork of data and statistics, right? So I'm not taking away from it being
34 seconds.
Yeah. So I'm not taking away from.
You threw me under the bus with that.
Yeah. So I know we come with a lot of that, right? We come with a lot of facts. We come with that, and it could come across to a lot of women like, what are you talking about? Because at this moment they might not want to hear it. So I get it. They were definitely having, not to say a different conversation. I know when Chill had made that comment about the keyboard, it turned the conversation into something else. But I would still like to keep a good vibe and feeling on the panel.
No, it's good.
I think the most important thing is us not trolling each other. Let's not bait each other into debates that are unnecessary. Because really and truly, even the direction. Granted, you only have so many characters that you were able to say your point with the super chat. Cool. But I tried to rephrase a portion of that question to make it relevant to the topic that we were talking about, because we were still expounding on that particular topic. So how we were able to have introspection and also to a degree make kind of commandeer a bit or just to play nice in the sandbox a little bit of what your question was saying. Like, okay, let's make it relevant to what we're talking about. Hey, everybody shared the demise of a friendship, because we were talking about friendships, and was it a married or a single relationship that happened in, et cetera, and everybody shared their experiences. So that's where the introspection was, where everybody was able to show, hey, were you at fault? Did you stop communication? Did you ghost this person? What happened? So everybody was telling their truth based on their experience in that regard. So that was really where we were trying to do in that way. I think we're kind of getting a little derailed. We get off the tracks.
Let me tell you why all of that probably just went completely over everybody's head. Because I just don't understand, bro. I'm just so angry. I'm so tired of this. I really am. That's why I'm like I'm tired of this, bro. Because this man is intelligent. Nobody can take that away from him. He clearly knows exactly what angle we were coming from on this panel and what we was talking about way before he even commented. So it's like there's no need to even really explain stuff like that, because his motive, like you said, Miss Dion, was you're shifting it and you're baiting or you trolling or whatever. And it's like, nobody's even on that. It's like that goes back to whatever I'm saying. It seems like there are some men out here that just cannot stand to hear women talk, because that's all we doing. Nobody is debating. Nobody's out here to do a got you moment. But you got him coming on here, all these extra questions and stuff, and it's like every single one of us have went back around from the beginning of how we started this conversation up to where we are now. I just like they do it.
This is why I
They
thought
do
the
this.
conversation. I'm sorry. This is why I thought the conversation was good. So I'll be honest with you, right? That wasn't my expectation. Right now, nobody's gonna care because I'm the man, but she's gaslighting me. I've
Oh
already
my God.
explained. See, right? Because
You're
I
playing the
exactly
victim now.
What?
You're being the
No,
victim
now
no,
now.
no, no.
exactly,
Let's hear why he
Beans,
exactly,
don't
feels
be the victim,
gaslighted.
Beans.
right?
How do you feel
Because I've
gaslighted, sir?
already
No, no.
explained.
Let's
Because
hear.
I've already explained that I literally said in a text message that super chat had nothing, zero. Watch how this goes. Watch how this goes unheard. Zero to do with what had ever been said before I sent it. Zero. It had
Right.
nothing to do about it. I was just genuinely trying to support the show by sending my little money and saying what I was thinking in the moment, which was, man, are they going to have a deeper conversation? Let me ask and see
By sending
if
something
there'll be a
irrelevant.
deeper conversation about this type of stuff. That was it.
Yeah,
There's
but
no
then you came.
trolling.
But
There's
then
no
you
none of
came for
any of this
Jess.
other stuff going on. And you can't even accept it. But let me say this, and I'm gonna bow out. Ladies' night, in my opinion, I see what it is now. And I'm gonna let y'all have that. I don't have no problem with that. I'm gonna let y'all have that, and I'll stay away. But in my opinion, what ladies' night is supposed to be, it's supposed to be the time where the woman gets to say things from their perspective, not just their feelings, but from their perspective, right? Which is absolutely different from feelings. But then at the same time, now the men can come and have the conversation with the women, but in a space where they're protected from the over talking and berating that we see a lot of men do on panels. On my channel, those dudes that come on, and as soon as they come on, they want to say, how tall are you? How much you weigh? What's your body count? And all that. I don't even allow those guys on my channel. We don't do women like that on my channel, right? But the fact of the matter is, if it's just gonna be kumbaya, and the women are always the victim, and the men can't come up and ask anything challenging. The men can't ask for anything challenging out of the conversation. It's a waste of time for men. It's not supposed to be ladies only night. It's supposed to be ladies first. And we don't come up here and disrespect you. But since you can't take me telling you that where I was coming from was not from this bitter, I don't want to hear women speak. I don't even want to have to say this, but I'm gonna say it because I know what you're thinking. I suggested this show. I told Mingo to do this show. So why would I say do this show? I'm
Clarification.
almost
Mingo
done and I'm
had this
gonna leave,
idea a
Noah.
while back.
I'm almost
Mingo
done and
already
I'm
had
gonna
the
leave.
idea a while
Why
back.
would I tell him to do this show if I don't want to hear what women have to say?
I mean, you just said it was irrelevant.
I think.
No logic.
I think again. Let's just
Respect. Good luck.
I think the purpose of this was to again have a space where we're going to say our perspectives, which is our point of views, which coincides with our experiences. And that's what it's here for. And that doesn't mean to ostracize men, because it could have very well just been all of us, and
Facts.
GMT didn't have to be
It could
here
have
at
been us
all.
just dragging men
You know what
all
I'm
the time,
saying?
and we're not
So
doing none of that.
and it's not just about, we don't know how we're gonna respond to each other's experiences. There was no way, shape, or form that we just so happen to agree on certain aspects of the topics that we have discussed so far. We all coming from different walks of life. Some of us, we have two ladies here that are married. We have three that are single. One that has been divorced. So everybody has their different experiences that they're coming to the table. So it doesn't have to be all of this. Who's to say the next topic we could all be like, no, this is that. And of course the other side to that is getting the male perspective, which GMT is here for, to ask the questions that men want to know. We talked about the girls trip. We talked about that. He raised other questions. So I think even when it dealt with respect and love, and the differences of how men and women look at that. So I feel like the part of it that we need to understand, where I think is always going to be a breakdown, is that we don't listen to each other. And that is always going to be but I heard this, but I really said that. and it's just going to keep being that conflict instead of just like, all right, I received what you said, I heard you, because you're trying to share something, you're imparting something to me, and then I could in kind respond to that. I
Yeah.
feel like it's
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I can't say that I'm not a little disheartened by that exchange.
Mhm.
And I just didn't feel like it was really necessary, because it wasn't, I don't feel like there was necessarily any malice behind what he said, and I don't think there was any malice behind how Miranda was sharing her thoughts. Even for what I said, I think we have to be mindful of how things can come across, and perception is everything.
It is.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's just the reality of it. If
And
I'm seeing a comment, because we had several comments, some of which we didn't go over, and we're saying, okay, well that looks a little like, you know what I'm saying, you trying to bark up this tree, and you trying to hit the hornet's nest and see what comes out. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't get any clarification, you're just gonna go off of that. And it could be perceived as, are you trying to troll? Are you trying to trap somebody? Are you trying to get everybody in an uproar? You have to understand that how it can come across. So you clarifying that, cool, then we can move on, and we could keep it pushing.
But see, the issue is that it's like, no matter what we was, even though we were given our introspective, I keep saying that word wrong, but even though we're giving our perspective on what's going on, it's like, oh, that's not good enough. Tell me what you really was doing. And then you're trying to come at Jess and asking her questions. Well, if he said, or if your man was doing this, is it reality though? Is it reality? And it's like, why are we trying to debate now about what's reality and what's not? Everybody literally gave their own form of expression of what we was talking about. The premise has been set from the beginning of the show. So it's not that I don't believe that there was malice behind it, but I believe the same type of energy that certain individuals come with online, he came here with that same type of energy. And it was like, okay, so what are we talking? Are you going to at least listen to what we have said? Ask us a question about what we have already experienced, and we can go in that route. We can go deeper.
can I add something real quick too?
Yeah. Go ahead,
So this says, what is an introspective person? Someone who is introspective spends considerable time examining his own thoughts and feelings. So listen, sometimes we are looking at things weird when we're, feelings is in a mix of it all too. Just like how a child can say something to their parents, to their father, let's say, and let's use a man in this scenario, and he says, I feel like he is disrespecting me. That is how he feels about how that child responded. It can be taken other ways sometimes, but feelings is mixed into it too. Now it may be heavier from a woman's side, or it can be lighter on a man's side, but feelings is a part of it too. When you feel that you're but I think because they put such negative connotations on feelings, that's right. The problem. We are all emotional beings. Women may be higher emotionally than men, but then what the key for both sides is emotional regulation. So we are looking at things crazy when we're trying to think that there's nothing. And then you're like leaning to each situation. I mean, let's just be real, please. I mean, so right now we're sharing, and it may be how we felt because that's all we got to see, our side of that situation. I don't know how my friend felt about it. I don't know how they thought about it. Unless we communicated, I wouldn't know that other side. So I can only go by my perspective of it all. And I respond that way. So let's be real, because we're playing semantics and it's ridiculous sometimes.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm tired of it. That's a fact, Jess. That's why I'm tired of it.
Just now. You better go ahead. You better chop those vegetables, put it on the pan.
Yeah, for real. Like, everybody had something that was legitimately valuable, a legit situation
When you
we're
did
talking
this,
about
I know it was
with
teaching mode.
relationships. So it's just like, all of the rah-rah was completely unnecessary. It made no sense.
Yeah, we were
vibing. It was not.
Yeah, we was vibing.
It didn't fit in the atmosphere that we were when we were talking. It did not fit at that moment. Yes, it may be a valid statement altogether. I'm not saying that that statement was not valid, but I'm talking about altogether, it did not fit in the vibe that we were vibing at this moment. If you had any disagreement, that's what was the we can comment, you could come up. It was the link was sent, and we talk about what the disagreement was of what we were talking on specifically.
Thank you.
But then now when you gear it off, and then look at what it became.
Right.
When we were all, if we were wrong, we can be open to let us know if it was wrong. Because there were some comments in there that said that they didn't agree.
Yeah, like that's what
I do want you guys to talk, and like I said, I want to be a space where y'all feel, because that's gonna happen, right? Anytime you open up the panel, it's gonna happen. It is what it is, right? You can't not expect everyone to just come in here and be like, okay, I completely agree with y'all, or to not even try to almost shift the topic into something else because of what they may have felt, what they thought you guys were saying, right? So I'm not taking away from him as well, just like I'm not taking away from any of what you guys are experiencing. I do want this to be, even how y'all are talking now, to me it's important, because this is the thing, right? Men, we get where you guys are coming from because we're used to how women talk, right? It's not saying we hear this a lot, but we, for the most part, I'm not saying that all, Jess. I don't say all.
I know. Right? I'm sorry. I was just being a.
But we get where y'all are coming from, right? And this is why these conversations are important. Even how Beans did come on here, and he pretty much expressed himself, how he expressed himself. I don't think he was overtly disrespectful, but I think it was challenging, and he was challenging y'all on what he felt.
And we responded.
Now hold on, one second. He was challenging y'all on what Chill said, on how you, Miranda, more real talk, on how you felt about what Chill said. So he was challenging you on that.
Yeah,
that's all it really was. No, and it's cool. So that's what he was challenging you on. And that turned into
which was way back in the conversation, and then he brought it while we've moved on how long ago, which
no, hold on. Because in all fairness, he wasn't on the panel when that happened, right? Or he wasn't saying anything. I don't know if he was just sitting there and not saying nothing, but he was allowing the conversation to happen. Right. So as the conversation was happening, when it was time for him to talk, the whole thing was, he's not going to necessarily jump on that specific. One second, Jess. He's not going to necessarily jump on that specific topic. He's going to jump on a topic that was brought up within the realm of the panel, right?
I don't really think him coming up and saying what he said was really a problem. At least I didn't have a problem with him coming up, because like you said, he didn't come up at the time that the statements were made or when we read them. And people write things, and you cannot control how they accept what you write.
Yeah.
Right? The moment
refer back to the
point,
statement.
right? I think the point that the ladies are trying to make, and I'm the new kid on the block. I'm new here, so I really don't know people's personalities. So at the moment that he came in, it almost became like, I watched these white women.
Yeah.
And this is how they did it. And y'all wonder why men don't XYZ. And it was like, but did we really wonder why men didn't? Or was it just a question that was posed to us and we answered it in a specific way that you may not have necessarily agreed with? That's fine. I don't think the disagreement is the issue. For me, and you saw I stay quiet the whole time. For me, it's the comparison to somebody completely different than the makeup of this panel, which is not saying that we can't learn something from that. Because honestly, I travel into other sectors all the time to see how other people do it.
Right.
And so I was able to receive what it was he was saying, but it was just certain things that were just being said. It was almost like y'all's feelings are not reality, but some men's feelings aren't reality either. Like it's not, it's the constant, like, y'all know that's kind of like that's just kind of how it felt, and
that
the
makes you
space
at
wasn't
defense
like
mode.
that at the moment. The space. This is the first. Is this not the first episode?
Yeah, the first. Yeah.
So it's a learning curve. At least it is for me. I have never been on a panel with all women like this for this long. It's a space that is pleasant. It's a space where we're vibing. And I think as it progresses, yes, you will get into the deeper conversations, but allow us to vibe with one another.
Feel each
Allow
other
us to
out.
get to know. Yeah, like I really just felt like that was the space we were in. And so I know for me as a woman, when a monkey wrench kind of gets thrown into that, it's not that I'm not equipped to deal with the change or I'm not equipped to, but we were really in a completely different headspace. So I think it got kind of confusing trying to kind of maneuver through some of the things that he was suggesting that could make it better, and just kind of some of the words and verbiage that was used. It was like, wow, like.
But see, that's exactly why I'm gonna call it how it is. Being that my name is More Real Talk, it was messy. It was completely messy because Lady First, he's been in the game for a while.
Yeah, that's what I said. I don't know. I don't know anybody. I don't really know people's personality or what his intent was.
Yeah, great guy, highly intelligent. So that's why I called it messy for what it was, because of how you came in. He's been doing this for a long time. So that's why I personally felt like it was messy, because like you said, everybody on here just said we was vibing. And what did he come and do? Exactly what we were currently talking about was invalidating women's feelings and experiences, X, Y, and Z. He came in and immediately did that. And like y'all pointed out, we don't know if he was there at the computer the whole time, or if he was out, or whatever he was doing. That's even more reason for why you should have kind of monitored how you came in, because you don't even know what was already said. And you're coming in making comparisons and invalidating and making accusations and trying to throw suggestions. And, I told Mingo to do this. I'm the, whoa, stink. Like, you know what I'm saying? Let's take a couple steps back here. Yeah, like let's take a couple steps back here. So that's why I was I'm tired of that type of thing, because even on the grown men talk on the show, we've been doing it for a while, and they come on there and they do that exact thing, but that same type of behavior. You'll give them a flat out scenario, say exactly what you mean. Oh, it's invalid because of X, Y, and Z. And another reason, just to throw in there, and I'm gonna pass the mic. I think because when you look at panels and stuff these days with women on it, especially if they're Gen Z is just done. But when you look at that stuff, you have a lot of women on there that let's just say you wouldn't put her as no role model for your kids, or any type of example without throwing somebody under the bus. There's a lot of women out here that are doing exactly what they say they don't want. And the fact that Mingo has acknowledged it, that most of us on here, well, actually all of us on here, are the anomaly when it comes to women, if I said that correctly. So I think when they hear us speaking about certain things, they watch how we carry ourselves, they watch the conversations, they feel like it's not real. Because when they go out and see the rest of the women and what everybody else is doing, oh no, this is how you guys really are. Instead of taking the approach that we take, we could, like you said, Ms. Dion, we could have easily got on here and drugged men, easily trashed them. But the same respect that the married women have on here and the single women have is that we saying we still want a man. We're not saying that y'all trash. We're not comparing you to white men. We're not doing none of that. We're on here trying to explain to you how we feel and what we need to do to move forward. That's going to be progressive for relationships and marriage and kids and so on and so forth. But
I think the part of it, I think the part of it where that you touched on that made a somewhat of the disconnect, as did Lady Fresh touched on as well. Talk about the comparison where you're saying, okay, well, and I don't even want to. Honestly, the way I move, I don't be giving that kind of stuff energy. If it ain't serving, let's keep it pushing. But for the sake of conversation, okay, the comparison aspect of saying, well, y'all dress like. Y'all all dress the same. Y'all wear the same lashes. Y'all wear the same makeup. Y'all do this, so we can't differentiate the possible housewives to the
now girl, the modern whatever
the tools. Okay, the garden tools. So it's like you got to understand how that's going to come across in a space where if we from as of right now, because again, this is episode 1.
Yeah.
As of right now, it looks like there is a similarity on ideologies. We don't know yet. We haven't unpacked. But I think what's important is here's the thing that just grinds my gears, okay? Let's just go there.
Yeah.
Is when it comes to our community, when it comes to our black men and our black women, the discourse is on an all-time high.
Yeah.
And it's exhausting.
Very.
And I felt like this moment was an example of that. That was not necessarily needed. Of course, we're here. We're gonna say things. Some things may be funny. Some things may be entertaining. It's all for who wants to indulge in it, right? But there's going to be room for that. There's going to be room for all of it in the sense of to say, okay, there may be a topic that me and D may not see eye to eye on, or Jess and more real talk, whatever. There's going to be other people on this panel, so there's room for all of it. But to look for all the jump, I kind of felt like,
thank you,
whoa,
Miss Dion.
whoa, Nelly. Like I just, it's. I think the tearing down, we can't do that. Like I can't even say, I can't lie. I thought it was kind of corny.
For somebody else who may not be rooted in this, who might really just be trying to give this a try, that could have completely derailed them from wanting to ever re-enter this space. And this is supposed to be the space that you feel the safest. And trust and believe, like he asked me about different panels that I've seen. Man, listen. The dirty section of YouTube and all these different areas, these women curse each other out. They talk crazy to men. They're not allowing each other to speak. They don't. It's bananas. I'd be like, I disconnected for 4 months.
It's scary
because I was just tired of the timeline just showing people fighting and all kinds of stuff. And it was just like, oh, this is nice. I was invited to a place and I just trusted because the way that you came at me in my chat was on all humble respect, come on over to my platform. It's going to be our first ladies night. You know what I mean? So yes, this is our space to be able to make mistakes, to be able to get off how we feel. And I'm sure by episodes 3, 4, 5, 6, there's going to be some stuff we disagree about. It's going to be some men that's going to come in here and ruffle some feathers. And so while, like I said, I'm not opposed to what he felt like he needed to say, especially since he dropped the link and invited him up. It's a time and place for everything. And I think it's important that when you enter a space that is for women, I'm taking a chance saying it. You're a guest here.
Read the room.
And you really think about it. Like,
read the room.
I'm not saying that in a disrespectful way. If the title is Ladies Night, it like when a man hits the panel other than our host, you're a guest here. And you do read the room. And it's like, if you say something that we may have taken wrong, yes, you took the time, you explained it. And I totally understood what you said. But sometimes you can explain something to people. It still does not change the damage that you caused by what you said. You drop a plate, you break it into a million pieces. You pick the plate up, you glue it back together. But is that plate ever the same again? That's my husband's analogy. It's just not the same. So I just, I'm hoping we can learn something from what just happened. I don't want to dismiss anything that he had to say. Valid points were made, but I think that's a little bit of accountability can be taken from saying your feelings are not reality. That's some real hurtful-ish to say.
Yeah.
Because my reality is not going to be your reality. You as a man are going to have a feeling about something. How would you feel if I came to you and said your feeling is not reality? Like, I think that's a little bit
wild
in the space that we had going on here. But
like, you feel you're
again,
a man?
I'm the new kid on the block. I don't really know what his personality is. But
Can I just ask a question? I just want to direct this question to GMT real quick. Okay. Because we just let's hit the scenario. If we was having a little discourse, and you told me something that you felt, and I said, your feelings is not reality. How would you receive that, sir?
I looked at you like you was crazy.
That's all I'm saying.
Well,
so you have to look at it differently.
Yeah, I listen. Like I said, I definitely want you guys to feel exactly what you're doing now, because just as much as this might feel and sound crazy, is just as good as it for you guys to express how you're feeling right now. Because in reality, some men do feel that way about y'all. What he said, your feelings aren't based in reality. White women, this, whatever, right? That's some men's reality. And it's good to hear you're combating against it, how you feel about it. And this is the space that I do want to create. I don't, like I said, I don't feel like it was overtly disrespectful. He didn't call nobody out their name. He didn't do nothing crazy like that.
Right.
It was 100% speaking to a point and to a topic, which I'm not mad at either. Right. Whether you refer to it or not.
That would have made more sense.
No, I agree. I'm not taking away from that. That's not what I'm saying right now, though. Mm-hmm. What I'm saying right now is however it happened is how it was meant to happen tonight, right? But this is still, like we said, he dropped off and then you guys were able to talk. I don't want to do a lot of talking tonight.
And
you know what I'm saying? I do a lot of talking on Sunday. So so this space, I do want it to, I want more and more ladies to feel come into the space. We could get into a disagreement and talk, and it's still going to end up being this, right?
Yeah,
it's going to end up being this. Mm-hmm. So this is what I want to create for this panel.
And I think one thing about I think it's so interesting, like something I pointed out in one of my most recent YouTube videos is that we, a lot of times, especially here, mainly here in America, we like to talk about mental health, right? Oh, care about people's mental health and care about other people or whatever. But you got them same people that's going around, like when you invalidate someone's experiences and emotions, that messes not just with somebody's feelings. You mess with their head mentally. Their process in their mind literally gets damaged. And when that person actually experiences something that shouldn't be tolerable, something that is actually vile or despicable, a lot of people they can't even differentiate at that moment of if they're actually being mistreated or not, because you've been told by whoever it's not real. Mm-hmm. It's not reality. You get so many people to be stuck in so many different types of abuse, young people, old people, that never break that cycle because they are literally damaged in their mind. And it's like that joint be pissing me off because you got so many people out here that really need help for real, but you going around trying to tell people what's valid and what's not. Mm-hmm. And that's not to take away that sometimes we women, we can get a little, we can be emotional, right? Your man don't respond to your text for the next 2 hours. Where you at? I thought your car flipped over, something crazy or whatever, something like that. And then we bring it back. But to constantly come in automatically off the rip and try to say basically whatever you have heard or didn't heard is just irrelevant. It's giving abuse. It's giving abuser. How are you going to handle your daughters and stuff when they grow up? How are you going to handle your wife if you got one for real? A woman is a woman. You can go out of the country and get her all you want. When them emotions get to rolling, you are going to be dealing with the same thing. So I just feel like it's disgusting to me. It's abusive, and it's just I can't. I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
So Morel, for me, I don't like to put, just like I don't like when people put certain words on black women, right? I don't like also when people put words on black men as well. And using words of abusive online like that, it puts a thing on men. I don't think I get what you're saying, but I don't want to put that word because it was really just him telling how he feels. And that's his point of reality, right? And it's how he goes about things. He's not abusing. I wouldn't put that on.
I'm not saying.
And it's the word. It's something. I'm sorry, but it's something that I've been labeled as a black, and I'm like, I know I'm not that person. I'm not that AB person. You know what I'm saying?
AB.
But it gets stuck on us.
Well, I'm not saying that he directly, innately, or whatever is an AB, but I'm saying that type of act from anybody, women and men, because you'll find a lot of parents do this to their kids, and their kids grow up with this type of mindset of invalidating their experiences and what they feel. It is so harmful. So it's not necessarily like Beans in general, because like I said, I do like Beans. He's intelligent. But what he did, it was very distasteful. I did not like the way he handled that. Seriously. But as far as the act of what we're talking about, of invalidating what somebody is saying because it don't register to you, that is a sign of abuse. That's something that happens to people every day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it really do. And too much of that, too much experiencing that can cause psychological developments in your mess ups in your brain. You ain't functioning right no more. Like, you really got a problem, and that happens to people all the time. Like, that's just what I think. So now he's not an AB, but that was, I just didn't like what he did because that is harmful indeed.
I get that. I get it.
I can understand that as well. I just a little piggyback. I understand where we just need to be careful about how we phrase things, because just for argument's sake, if that sound bite was just cut of what you said, more real talk, it could be perceived as if he was being labeled. So we want to be
Yeah.
careful
Yeah, I
about
wanted
that,
to clarify that.
especially, yeah.
Thanks.
So we just want to be
Yeah.
careful about that, especially when we are talking about, our brothers and sisters, because it's not a good look. And that's why when it comes to certain things that are being said, I just be like, I cringe. I can't even lie. I be cringing, because it's like, why are we putting our sisters in the same boats of, not to say that they don't exist, but why are we putting them in the same boats of comparison of garden tools? Why are we referring to each other
Yeah.
like that? You know what?
No,
Let's just bring it
understandable.
back full circle. Maybe we should just all hold internet hands and just sing kumbaya just to close it out.
Like you said, like
You
you
know?
said.
Let's just
But
close it
no,
out with
before we hold
just a
hands,
little
I do
wave.
want to
You know what I'm
clarify.
saying? Just a little.
Yeah, no, yeah, but no, before we, I just going back again. I do clarify. No, not saying he's in AB. I understand what you're saying of how I said it, because I was mad for real. So
I feel.
I
I
ain't
felt
like
it.
that. Like,
I
I don't
felt
like
it.
that. Yeah, I don't like that. But
Big
at the
Aries
same,
energy.
it is the Aries energy. I am very bold about what I have to say. I will say that. That's why my name is More Real Talk. I don't have a lot of shame in what I'm saying, especially if I have my own, valid proof or whatever, or I can understand what somebody else is saying. I have no issue saying what I have to say. But just clarifying, I don't think he's an AB, but I dislike how he came into the conversation.
That's fair. That's fair. All right. So
Was that
with that being
accountability?
said, that was accountability. That was 100% accountability.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So with that being
That should
said,
be our thing.
I would like to have my final closing thoughts. Starting with my homie Just Justified. Please give your channels a shout out. Everyone watching, if you're watching now, if you're watching on the replay, please subscribe to everyone's channel on this page. Make sure you subscribe. This is Ladies' Night. This is our first night. It got a little rocky, but I think it's necessary sometimes, and it was a good conversation
A little
overall.
turbulence on the plane,
Right?
but we landed
It's a
it.
little turbulent,
We're safe.
right? But it was still good all in all. But Just Justified, please give out your closing thoughts.
All right. As again, my channel's name is Mind Your Mind with Just Justified. That's W, not the whole word with. And basically, it kind of encompasses a lot of what is today that we did today, where we're talking about like the mental, psychological, and just being able to be accountable, being able to look deeper into topics. So I really like this vibe. I really like how we can articulate ourselves and bring our points across. Now, in summary of tonight, I just want us to know, I'm going to reiterate that feelings are not a negative thing, and it's how you regulate your feelings. So no matter what we're doing, we're going to feel something. If you feel fear, if you feel happiness, if you feel anxiety, whatever the situation is, that's a valid fear. Now, what you do with what you feel is what is important. And we have to learn how to regulate what we do. So I just say, I love the sisterhood, ladies.
Hey.
Oh, is it me?
All right. Yep. Even more.
Hello guys. Yes, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I don't know when the video is gonna be posted, but it's coming. Gotta get a new laptop. Okay. So I thoroughly enjoyed this panel tonight. I did feel like it was a safe space, which I thoroughly enjoyed. Um, I do think that we should think about what we say before we say them, myself included, because I don't always do that. And also to kind of like put yourself in someone else's shoes. Like if you're doing something or asking someone something, just kind of flip it. Be like, you know what? She's having this type of reaction. How would I feel if it was reversed? Would I feel, and I said feel, okay. Would I feel that way? You know, just kind of, I feel like if more people kind of looked at it from that angle, there would be so much more understanding on both parts, men and women. So I would just like to say that. Yeah.
Okay. All right. More real talk.
Oh, hi. Sorry, it was an awkward moment just now. Um, yeah, I definitely enjoyed the panel today. I did enjoy the safe space. I don't open up too much about my own experiences with things, so I felt like I was able to do that today. Just little minor stuff. I've been through a lot, so I have more things that I could touch on in the future. But this was great today. Love the women on this panel. Definitely enjoyed Lady Fresh being on here. I'd like to connect with you
Yeah.
for sure. And yeah, it was definitely a productive show.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Is it
Lady
my turn?
Fresh.
Well, first I want to say thank you to GMT for stumbling on my show the other day and popping in. You and Beans both. Like Beans hit my link. I wouldn't even let him up because I didn't know who he was. And he was like, everybody know who Little Podcast is. I'm like, well, I don't know you. I've been bombed before, so but y'all came with respect. You appreciated what I had to say and what I had to offer, and invited me to this space. And this was actually something that I've been talking about doing on my channel for quite some time. But unfortunately, I don't have as many connections to very positive women because of I don't claim any sector, but because of where I come from, getting into YouTube, it's not a lot of spaces like this. There are a few, but I never really hit their panels, and it's always just been something I've wanted to do. So I'm really happy that I got to be invited here and meet you ladies and have this conversation. All in all, I felt it was very positive. A little debate ain't gonna kill nobody. I still think we're all very respectful. I actually didn't feel any disrespect from what he was saying. It was just a man speaking, and like that's just how it is sometimes. But I'm grateful for the opportunity. I'm thankful to you ladies for your perspective on your experiences. Y'all got me to open up about something I ain't never talked about online before. So I'm definitely gonna remember that. And please subscribe to my channel. It's the Fresh Perspective with Lady Fresh. It's just W/Lady Fresh. So it's the Fresh Perspective W/Lady Fresh. And I'm getting back into it. I'm coming back full-fledged in May. I've been redoing all my awareness episodes. I got a mental health episode that a few people probably should watch coming this Friday. So definitely tune in, and I'll definitely hope to be invited back.
Yay.
Oh, you definitely will. Definitely will. Okay, hon.
I am.
Sorry, Dion MUA.
That was cute. It's all right. We'll allow it. We'll allow it.
It's all right. It's okay. Safe space. So I am Dion MUA on all social media platforms. Rebranded from makeup artist to now making up adulting. So check me out on IG, YouTube. I definitely have a YouTube channel and I'm going to revamp it as well, but there is content there. So you could definitely subscribe. So I appreciate everyone. It's been amazing. And I just want to see where it goes. We are grown women talking. So we can talk, we can debate, we can argue, but we're going to do it respectfully.
Oh, yeah.
In class. Praise God.
For real. All right. So I just want to give a special shout out to the ladies on the panel tonight. You guys did an awesome job. Even in the heat, even in the heat of the debate, you guys did an awesome job. And I'm so looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to just having more and more of these conversations. Just like how the Sunday panels are growing, we have so many people joining, so many people on it. I want to create a space like this as well, and have you guys on, join, talk, and just have this clear conversation without the male interruption the whole panel. You know what I'm saying? Maybe we could do it like we say towards the end of the panel. That's cool, but the whole panel should be y'all at least having this space sometimes, right? So please look out for more and more of this. Also, I would like to let you guys know I'm working on my dating show, which is coming out, soon. And I'm putting in a lot of work to get that off the ground. So shout out to that as well. And we're in the business of getting people married. That's my goal. That's the purpose of this channel. That's the purpose of it all, is because we're better together as a community than we are apart. And we have to at times meet each other at the level that we're at and really learn the bill, right? So I'm all for this. I got to give a shout out to everyone for super chatting. Once again, Beans, my guy, super chat from Beans. I would also like to shout out Rasheem and my boy, I'm so chill. Thank you so much for the love. Thank you so much for the super chats, everyone. And we're gonna do this again shortly. Also, before I go, I gotta shout out. Let me get a little light here. Please, Emily. Man, go wash your face. Stop using body soap
on your face
and water on your face. The same body you use to wash your ass, you're using it on your face. Fellas, you break out a lot, and I know it. I see y'all out in them streets. Bumps all over the place. Let's get it together. Let's clear up our skin. Get your T. Henley 30% off if you click the link inside the description. On top of that, 20% off for a lifetime. Where would you find that? Where would you find that
That could be the slogan.
T. Henley, y'all. All right. Once again, I love this. I love it. And
I have one question.
Yes.
I must have missed it at the beginning, but where's everybody from?
Oh, Charlotte.
Charlotte.
Oh, everybody's in Charlotte?
Far Rockaway, Queens, New York in the building.
Oh, that's where my best friend from.
Brooklyn.
Okay.
Brooklyn.
Okay. And you in Charlotte too?
Nah, Charlotte now.
Okay. Got it. Okay. All right. About to be out there soon. I'm from Harlem, but I live in Kansas City.
Okay.
Kansas City, Missouri?
You come in Charlotte?
I actually live on the Kansas side of Kansas, but Kansas City, Missouri is literally like down the block. But Harlem, I'm a Harlem girl all day.
Okay. Hey, uptown baby. Uptown baby.
The Fresh Perspective with Lady Fresh, right?
Yes, that's me. And my IG is IM_Lady Fresh. So if you ever need to reach me, that's what
You sound like you're supposed to be a rapper. Did you rap? Lady Fresh?
Hey.
Nah,
no. Not at all. Not a creative stance at all. I'm the writer. So okay.
And shout out to everybody that watched, everybody that commented tonight. We had Marietta in the building. We had Queen ES. We had Leon. We had Coach. We had the 4-1. Everybody. Thank you for commenting and saying what you say.
Behind the bar, I sent out a mass post, and I had a few people come through. My boo. Behind the bar, that's where I come from. That's my home.
Love.
And to my king, Fresh Breezy, we'll do a couples thing every now and again. It's called I forgot. See, I've been off for 4 months. It's just called The Freshes. So he's Fresh Breezy and I'm Lady Fresh. So y'all can catch us every once in a while. We talk about sports and relationships and all different kind of things. So definitely would love to have you come through.
Yeah,
definitely. You gotta tell Fresh. I know you're listening, Fresh. Yo, we gotta connect, my brother. We got to connect. Okay.
Oh yeah, he definitely will.
So that's what's up. So all right, listen, y'all have a good night. This was a great show. I'm looking forward to next Tuesday. We will do it again. Peace.
All right, bye, ladies, and thank